Go time. Right then, it's been a very, very long while. Hooking up with this guy here. There, sorry. We've got a bit of past, haven't we, mate?
We certainly have.
I got to know him, and I think he was actually the first, shall we say, beer reviewer that I did an actual live with many moons ago. I think it was a Beavertown one that we did.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So I'm a sucker for all the past, and we've had some pretty good memorable moments. I've got to meet the guy in the flesh on 3 occasions. Here he is, the Clueless drinker. How are you doing?
Evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Looking forward to this. If you want to introduce the beers, mate, what we're going to be taking a look at.
All right then. So we've got 3 beers tonight. I'm sure we'll decide what we'll start off with once we've introduced them. So first is, I'm not sure if this brewery is actually called Avans. I'm not too sure. But this is a Belgian Pilsner, 4.5% ABV, brewed at De Prof. And we were just talking offline about how they sort of like, you could tell, couldn't you, with the feel of the label. That's what gave it away for me. The fact that they're sort of dependent on De Prof when, you know, all these new breweries in Belgium and then all the traditional ones.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to try those because there's a few from that brewery in the box. So.
There is, yeah. I think I've got about four in my box. But I think I opted for the Pilsner because we're both fans of that style as well. So I thought it'd be nice to get that one on at least anyway. So I think we'll probably whack that one out first, won't we?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to start with that one.
Yeah.
And then another bottle we've got Stout Eric, the Brussels Stout from Brasserie de la Seine. Can't say I've had too many Belgian brewed stouts, to be honest. I've had 1 or 2.
Yeah, so probably me as well.
Yeah,
I think
to see their take.
This is the only second beer I've had from de la Seine as well. I think the only one I have had was Taris Bulba.
I don't think I've had anything,
years ago. That was
anything from de la Seine. Well, as you know, Dean, I've not really ventured too much into the world of Belgian beers, but I think that's why I was happy, even though I initially wanted to cancel the box a while ago. I was actually happy to get some traditional stuff and some interesting sounding stuff. So looking forward to a
should be all right.
5% that one, and then we've got from a classic brewery. We've got Rodenbach Fruitage, or I don't know, would it be pronounced fruitage? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, let's go posh and say fruitage.
Yeah, fruitage.
Fruitage.
So this is a cherry beer. I'm not too sure what specific style it's supposed to be, or if it's just a base ale brewed of cherries. But that sounds really nice. 3.9% as well.
250ml bottle.
Yeah, nice little bottle. That
interesting. Well, I'll just get on top of the comments before we crack on, Peter.
Yeah, no props.
So Thomas left a comment before we went live, saying, hello everyone, just have an O'Hara's Nitro Stout. It's brilliant. Good on you.
Sounds good.
And then he puts everyone like and share now. Jake O'Beer, hello Jake.
Evening, Jake.
Peter was always going to be late, wasn't he?
Of course, yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Tote cereal. He was looking up chimay jokes. Hi everyone. Ken Burgers. Hello Craig.
Hi Craig.
Hi guys. Great to see you both. And then Jake says, thinking as the Taris Bulba in Birmingham at the pint shop. Well, I did anyway. Okay. Right. Let's go for it then, mate.
All right then. Sounds good to me.
Again, I suppose a Belgian Pilsner. I haven't had too many of them, to be honest, Peter.
No, same here. Not really had too many lagers brewed in Belgium, aside from the notable ones.
Yeah. Right. But mine's a little bit cloudy, but I'm going to put that down to maybe Chile's on that. Other than that, clear.
Yeah, same here. It's got a lovely colour to it, though.
Yeah.
Mine looks a little bit paler on camera.
Yeah, not too aggressive on the carbonation, to be fair, in the glass.
Nice and gentle, steady.
Finger of white on the top.
Yep, same here.
Let's get a whiff. It's not jumping out the glass.
No, it's. I don't know about you, but I was expecting a bit more of a Belgian, I don't know what you would say a classic Belgian aroma was, but to me it just smells like a nice, simple, bready, little bit
bready, bready lemon sort of thing. But it's not. It's not too intense, is it? It's very subtle. You really have to sort of like sniff up.
But yeah, nice and simple. It's ticking the boxes so far.
Should wet the whistle. Let's go in on it, eh?
Sounds
Cheers,
good.
buddy.
Cheers.
I think that's acceptable.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That there is that little bit of a spiciness coming from it, a little bit more pronounced than you would usually get.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a spicy. I want to say peppery almost.
Yeah.
That lemon pepper sort of twang to it. Good bready body. The body's on it's not too bad.
It's got a nice texture to it as well.
That's not too shabby at all, is it, for a Pilsner?
No, definitely not. It's got that sort of like what you expect from Pilsner, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me trying to look for a Belgian angle to it, and I think that's why I'm picking up on that pepperiness from the sort of yeasty flavour to it.
I mean, if this was like let's say, for example, a mystery beer, and you poured it, I don't think you'd ever, in a million years, go and say it's a Pilsner that's been brewed in Belgium.
No, definitely not. You only look for that because you know it's a Belgian.
Exactly. Yeah.
Feels a little bit more carbonated than I was expecting it to be.
I mean, this kind of beer that from what I can get out of it now, it's a Pilsner that I gravitate more towards with the body of it.
Yeah.
That's like I've said in my videos, it's a make or break thing for me. This one, I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it because of that body, that bready body. Sometimes this style falls a little bit short on body, and you get that sort of like watery thinness to it.
Yeah, definitely. But no, it's got a little bit of bulk to it, especially for a Pilsner as well.
I mean, I'm none the wiser about Avans. I've never heard of them.
No, same here. And they don't really have too much information about the actual Avans brewery on the can.
I'm sure there's something online.
Yeah.
Pointing you in the right direction, Tom. But yeah, a completely new brewery to me. And obviously they've let the proof do all the hard work then. So I don't know, Gypsy Brew. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interested to try the other beers that were in the box.
Yeah,
see how they turn out.
I think is there a saison?
think so, yeah. Saison, and I think there was like an IPA, or
Yeah.
can't really remember. I only unboxed mine a few days ago as well.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd probably it'll probably touch in a 7. I'd have it again. I'd be interested to see what an actual pint would taste like.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
serviceable
I think it's
Pilsner.
pretty decent. Yeah. It wins it for me for that bready body.
Yeah,
I'm just a sucker for it, and I've found that with a lot of European pilsners, whether it's macro or craft, the body is just far more superior than the likes of what we get over here.
Yeah,
Wishy-washy shit, you know. And that's something that just for my palate, maybe. There might be other people out there that sing off the same hymn sheet as me when it comes to having a decent body in a lager. But I get that other people just want something a little bit thin, maybe just to knock back. Yeah,
ease of drinking. Well, yeah, I could knock back a few cans of that.
Yeah, I'd go on about 7 out of 10 myself as well, Peter.
Yeah, not too bad.
Coke cereal. Are you getting Siren's birthday box? I'm not. Are you?
No, I was tempted at first, but I don't know. Just there's something about that doesn't really interest me too much. As much as I love Siren, I don't know. I think there's just other things that I've seen recently that I probably want to pick up.
What's in the box? I don't know. I'm on the wise one.
I can't remember offhand. I've just said some of the beers didn't really tickle me, but I saw a post like a few days ago about it, and I don't know. Just for I won't go out my way to pick one up, but I can't remember offhand what beers are in it.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Siren. I wouldn't say I'm not a massive fan of the brewery, but I've got respect for them. I think they do knock out some good beers, and it's a brewery for me that is one of the pieces in the puzzle that got me into experimenting with more beers, like Soundwave.
Oh yeah,
was one of the first sort of beers that I had, which I really liked back then. When it was all in bottles.
And then the likes of a Broken Dream.
Yeah.
See, I think they when they do a beer like that, they nail it. There's no sort of like, oh, this batch is different. We wanted to do something different. It's like, no, we've got the recipe nailed down. We're just going to brew this.
Yeah,
forward.
Yeah, Broken Dream's cool. I've got an Imperial Stout from them that I need to get around to do at some point. I got it ages ago.
Oh yeah, that was part of that series they did.
Yeah.
Was it like 3 or 4 stouts?
Yeah, Haunted House. Walsers. Is it Walsers? I forget the names of them now, but it was all like fairground themed sort of things. So this is the barrel-aged Imperial Milk Stout, coconut and chocolate, 13.5%. But just having the time to sort of I don't want to just open it for the sake of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to just open it like Wednesday after you've come in from work.
Yeah, you've got to be in the mood, haven't you, for a big beer like that. The time will come though when I'll just think, sod it, I'm having it sort of now. But
it's all like that when you buy beers that you intend to save for Christmas, and they just don't even get a look in. Because I fall into that trap of just buying sort of like easy to get hold of stuff from the supermarket just to drink throughout season, but like build up to it's like, yeah, I'll buy a bottle of that, put it away, and then you come around to it and it's like, I don't really feel in the mood for that, to be honest.
Yeah, I try and forget about beers, and I do. I've got a cupboard in the kitchen that I'll put a few dark beers in. They're all dark beers.
Yeah,
and I'll put them in there and I'll forget about them. But it's never for like, I'll pull it out sort of 2 years later and think, oh, hello, it don't last that long. Me forgetting about a beer is like 3 weeks, maybe.
I tell you, the only beers that I sort of buy and then I've rarely got to wait for a good moment is stuff like big bottles of like a sour beer, because again it's that idea of like having a big imperial sour and a big bottle on your own, because after like one glass you'll be getting that acid reflux kicking in.
Yeah. I'm slowly but surely getting into sours and lambics and them sort of beers. But yeah, I mean, it'd be a challenge for me to complete a 750 ml bottle of that. If you're doing bottle shares and stuff like that, then yeah, you can lose it quite quickly, can't you?
Yeah.
But to do it all on your own in one sitting, I'd see it as a bit of a challenge. But other styles, game on,
Oh yeah, it's funny is that you could happily get through a 750 ml imperial stout.
Yeah.
And make a night of it, but the idea of like having a full night on just like a big in your face sour, it's like, nah, I'll wait till I can share it with someone.
Yeah, I mean, I do get why there is a buzz about that style, and it is, and rightly so as well. I mean, it has got a big following, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Modern and old. So, full respect and stuff, but I guess it's just I suppose you've got to have a couple of styles that you're not all that keen on. But I use like Hefeweizens and stuff like that. I used to detest them, but now I love it.
Yeah, that's that sort of style beer where just out of the blue, I'll see one and think, I'll put that in my basket or just give it another go. Because even though there are styles that I'm not a big fan of, there's always a part of me that wants to just keep trying them every now and then. It's sort of like barley wines. That's probably the style that I have to be in the mood to have them. But every time I've had them, I'm like, I should drink this style of beer more often. But I think like many people I've sort of fallen into that trap of pale ales, IPAs. That always seems to be the bulk of whenever I'm doing a beer order.
Well, yeah, for me, I can go along with what you're saying there, because I fall into that trap as well. I think they're just even if you don't want to do a video review of it, a lager or an IPA is a good switch off beer. But yeah, I must admit, IPA, and you get a bit sort of like washed out with them, don't you, in the end?
Yeah, it gets to that point where they kind of start to blend in from one another, and you're thinking, well, that was the reason why I made this beer, or bought everything else to sort of bulk up the order, and you're like, I've bought that and I've bought 2 or 3 beers, which don't have the sort of, because I don't do it often because I try not to, sort of like fall into the hype of new releases. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often, or else I'll just be buying beer all the time.
Yeah, no, I put my hands up. There's certain beers that just I'm thinking, I've got to get a can of that. I mean, that pressure drop Breacle Stout, I saw that pop up on Trembling Madness, and I was like, I so have to have a can of that.
Yeah.
I saw it knocking around on social media. People were banging on the drum about it and stuff, and I thought, yeah, that's just a beer that I've got to try, and I wasn't disappointed with it. It was glorious stuff, as you'd expect from Pressure Drop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They've catapulted, haven't they? I mean, before they were just knocking around. They weren't like sort of, second division or anything like that, but they were never quite there, were they? Until the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's sort of like one of those, and I see that, I don't know what it is, but a lot of those sort of like London-based breweries who've been around for a bit, they sort of like, you can imagine they've got a big loyal fan base locally, and then when the bottles and cans get released, they've got like a good following. But you never really saw people ranting and raving about the likes of Pressure Drop.
No.
And then all of a sudden,
I had some of their core stuff, like when I first started doing reviews, 2016, Pale Fire, Wu Tang chops the trees or something like that.
I
They
think
did.
so.
Bosco, all them. I mean, they were good back then. They were good, but I think they've just sort of like really sort of catapulted themselves to the forefront, and they're making some really great stuff.
Oh yeah.
Not just you know, they're an excellent brewery in London, but I think they warrant being in anybody's top 10 for the entire
Definitely.
UK sort of thing, you know, for what they're doing.
I don't think
Cracking
I've
stuff.
ever been disappointed by them, even when they were primarily in bottles.
Yeah. They've always been there or thereabouts, haven't they? But I'd sort of group them brew by numbers, the Colonel, you know, they're
Yeah.
definitely up there. If we're
Oh
talking
god,
about
yeah.
just London breweries, yeah, quality
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's what I like about the likes of the Colonel. They're so well regarded and people love them, but they never sort of just go into one direction. It's just, no, we want to brew this beer and we're going to change the hops. We're going to. There's
Just
probably
yeah,
you're probably going to get a different ABV. Doesn't really matter, but I love that style of brewing. It's not like, oh, everyone's all of a sudden on this wave of brewing X style of beer using this new fantastic hop that we've only just discovered. It's just like, yeah, it's cool. If we can be bothered to get the hops, we'll get them. We'll make a beer with it. But
yeah.
could get some nice Columbus, or there's a new batch of Citra, or there's a hop that we've not heard before that doesn't really seem to get the sort of.
Total respect to them as well for not going down the crazy artwork route.
Yeah.
You know, they must save a fortune on not having an artist
Oh
design
god, yeah.
something for them. Because I bet it don't come cheap, does it? All these drawings and stuff.
No,
You know,
definitely
Jake,
not.
is it Yo? Is it James Yo at Left Handed Giant?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he knocks out some right crazy artwork, he does, but I bet it comes at a price.
Oh god, yeah.
So for the Colonel to just have that plain sort of branding, but it works. It works for them, doesn't it? It works.
Yeah.
People still buy their beers. They respect what's in the bottle. You know.
Yeah. Plus, one thing I really like about the Colonel is some of their like bigger, sort of darker beers. They're just based on like really old historical recipes, and they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Just we've got this really cool recipe that we found, and we'll just swap something out every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah. No, total respect to them. Okay then. All the beer, no idea. Barry, how do lads? Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Good evening.
And then Thomas says hello to Barry. Barry, beers you say for Xmas, like my missus with cakes, they never see fucking Xmas. Yeah, very true. And then he says hello to Thomas. Total Zero. I'll have to watch that review. And then Jake says Treacle Stout was banging. It was, Jake. It was a cracking beer. Absolutely fantastic.
Was that the black can with the gold?
Yeah, I've still got the can.
Yeah, it just looks.
It looks classy, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks classy. Yeah, it didn't disappoint. Didn't disappoint. They were always quite popular down in London in the pubs. Hamilton is one of my favourite. I've had a couple of beers from them.
Yeah, I think the only one that I remember having was the Crunch. That peanut butter stout.
Peanut butter, yeah.
But again, they're like one of those brews, sort of like Unbarred. I think I've only ever had one or two beers from them. Really enjoyed it, but I've never actually gone around to. Do you know what? I'll pick up a few beers at once from these. Give them a try.
Yeah, I think as soon as you sort of, so shall we say, dip your toe in the water with a new brewery that you haven't had before, and it comes off positive, then that opens it up again to sort of investigate a little bit more, and just it opens it up to see what else they're making, and you think, oh, hang on a minute, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, and next minute, you know, you've got a little order put together almost.
Yeah, that's why I like when breweries do the sort of like mixed boxes because it's like, yeah, it's a good way for me to get into them. Even when I got that red church box, I'm not gonna lie, weren't the best beers that I've ever had, but 10 different bottles and a glass for 20 quid.
You can't argue with it.
You know, I've tried the brewery. There were some beers that I would happily buy again, but I like stuff like that. I think I've become a little bit more open to buying not only the same beer multiple times from breweries, but also thinking, yeah, I'll just do a full order from so.
Yeah, Red Church are pretty good. I think I sent you one of their beers years ago. Was it their Stout, Export Stout?
I think it might be. It does
Because
ring
they
a bell.
popped up in Waitrose. I think it was the first time that they came available in Waitrose, and there was the Export Stout, and I think they did a blonde. But I think they've rebadged everything since then. But I was going back a couple of years, but I'm pretty sure I sent you a Stout from them.
It does ring a bell. Now that I think
But
about
it. Yeah, decent. I mean, for the price, you can't argue with it, can you? 20 quid, you know, fridge filler in it, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So you've got to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't too upset with my purchase at all.
Total Serious says, and Mondo as well. I don't think I've had anything from them neither.
Mondo, like maybe 1 or 2 beers.
Craig says Weird Beard is another great. Yeah, Weird Beard. I've got a soft spot for them.
Yeah, same here. Although last time I bought some Weird Beard beers, I had them in me because I've just got a cabinet where I put all my beers. It's probably not the best way to store beer, especially when it gets a little bit warmer. And I just opened it up one day, and I just saw like a beer had just completely leaked throughout the from all the shelves. And then I was looking through, and I picked up the Weird Beer can, and it wasn't opened, and it was just empty. It was like a hollow can.
All right.
And there must have been the tiniest of holes that just occurred, and it just must have slowly, over like weeks and weeks, just escaped it. And I was like, what is going on here? But I think that was more the way it was stored as opposed to the can itself.
Yeah. Yeah, Weird Beard. Yeah, Weird Beard are good. I'm a sucker for the artwork. Swings it for me with them.
Yeah.
Crazy sort of skull faces that they have on there.
And they've done still probably one of my favourite stouts that I've ever had with the Sadako.
Yes, with a wax. Has it got a wax top on it? Yeah.
I think I had that like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was just absolutely stunning. I'll probably drink it now because of how many Imperial Stouts I've had since. I think, yeah, it's all right. But at the time, it was just everything I wanted in an Imperial Stout.
Yeah. Yeah, they make some cracking beers, Weird Beard. I think they're just situated just off the M4, aren't they? As you're going into London. Yeah. Shall we have another beer then?
I think so. What do you think we should opt for?
Go on, you can pick.
I'm gonna say the Stout, just because I've got a feeling some of the aftertaste of this could potentially affect the flavour of the Stout.
Good call, fella. Good call. Let's go for this one then.
There we go. Jesus Christ, that shot off.
God, it's lively.
Yeah. I don't know if you had that like explosion when I popped the cap, but I shit myself. I thought all the beer was going to spew out, but no.
I've got more foam than beer, mate.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about that.
It's got a nice look to it, though.
It's got like, for me, I don't know if it's the light, but it looks more sort of like dark brown.
Yeah. same here. The light's just catching it about here, and you get like sort of
muddy brown sort of look to
yeah.
it. Massive head, 4 fingers of head. Right. Fruity.
Get a bit of fruit. There's also like a woodiness to it.
So this is an export. Oh, Belgian dry stout.
Belgian dry stout.
I've had an Irish dry stout before, but I've never had a Belgian.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. Aside from being in Belgium, being brewed in Belgium, what that would add to it. I'm always interested when you hear like when they sort of label like a style that you know, but there's always something before it, and it's sort of like it gets your brain assuming things.
Well, let's go in anyway. See what it's all about then.
Smells good. Cheers. There's something a little bit different about this, but I can't put my finger on it.
Black IPA just popped into me.
Yeah, it has got a little bit of a black IPA character to it.
It's a little bit. I think it's the fruit in play is giving a little bit of bitterness on the arse end of it.
Yeah.
With that roasty, toasty sort of side of things, and then the fruity, hoppy bitterness. I wouldn't say it's like full on IPA, black IPA or anything like that, but it's just a little, little characteristic.
Yeah, you get that sort of impression. It's a nice bit of smokiness that I'm picking up on mine.
I'm not getting any smokiness.
It's very, very subtle.
Quite a punchy bitterness in there. Sort of it's like sweet fruitiness to begin with, mixing with some like bitterness, and then you get like a roasty, toasty back end to it.
Yeah. I mean, the roasted quality's really nice and pleasant.
What is it? 5%?
Yeah.
Bottled on the 4th of Feb 21.
It feels a little bit more carbonated than I would expect, even though it was lively as hell when we opened it.
Mm. Can you relate to the dry stout thing in it? Are you getting any dryness from it?
I don't know, but because whenever I've had a dry stout, it's always seemed to be sort of like a, mind you, 5% is not really that low for a stout, but I don't know, dry stouts for me, from what I've experienced, seem to have sort of like a medium mouthfeel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's nothing really too drying about it. I'm getting a woody character, which slightly has a dry feel to it, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't really be able to say what you expect from a dry stout.
I wouldn't like to make that call on it neither. But I mean, as it is now, again, I think, I mean, you've got to bear in mind with something like this from Beer 52. They're never going to be world beating beers.
No.
You'll either really, really enjoy them, or they'll be all right, or they won't be all right. I don't think you're going to be sort of like, wow, this is absolutely fantastic. This is one of the best stouts I've ever had, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because this certainly isn't. But again, I suppose it's just acceptable and drinkable, isn't it?
Yeah, just another serviceable stout. It's got those familiar characteristics you expect from the style, but again, I don't know. I'm probably reading too much into it, but there's just something a little bit slightly different. But then I couldn't really make that call unless I had like a well received example of an Irish dry stout.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make an interesting side by side, wouldn't it? Comparing
Yeah,
it with
definitely.
an Irish dry stout, because they're the masters of that.
Yeah.
And then just seeing how this fares against something like that. They'll probably be poles apart.
Yeah. But what I'm getting, and like I said, it's nothing really exceptional about it, but at the same time, there's nothing you can criticise it for.
Yeah, it's got a kind of smoothness about it. Kind of sort of rich, I suppose, for a 5% stout.
Yeah.
Not super gloopy or anything, but there is a little bit of a richness about it. I like that fruit thing in there.
Yeah.
That lifts it a little bit. That's what made me think like black IPA and the bitterness in there.
Yeah, it does have a nice bitter finish. I do like that.
I'm so used to having my palate washed out with sort of like coffee though.
Yeah.
In it, you know.
Yeah. Coffee or whatever fruit pulp they want to put in an adjunct breakfast.
Yeah.
Sort of stout.
I can safely say I'm not picking up any coffee in this. There might be a bit of dark chocolate in there somewhere along the lines, but I'm not picking up any coffee.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all.
I'd probably go along the lines of about a 7 out of 10 again for it.
Yeah, right on 7 out of 10 for me as well with this one.
Right, just get back on the comments quickly, mate. Good shouts. Wish I had the box to drink along. Do you normally do this with Beer52 ones? I'll put the odd review out. I don't know about you, Peter. I don't know if you go to town on it or not.
Sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just if I've already had a couple of beers that I might have reviewed and I feel like, yeah, I'll have a couple more. I'll just see what's in the cupboard that I don't want to just sort of drink. And a lot of the time, the Beer52 beers, I'm like, yeah, I'll just crack that one open.
Yeah, but that's how I see it over the past sort of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 boxes that I've had off them. They've been sort of like, I can't be asked to do a video. I just want to be a sort of attitude. There's been a couple that I think they're worthy of turning the camera on to review, but the majority of them, they're just knockback beers when I can't be bothered. I know we were supposed to do something with last month's box, and that never quite materialised. But I think my old man ended up scrounging them beers off me in the end.
Well, I suppose you could look at it like that. It's a good way to, if you've got people round, when we were able to have people round, which as of Monday, we'll be able to have a couple of people round at least. And it's just one of those things like, yeah, just try that if you want something a bit different.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of myself because my dad he was just old school, old beers. You know, I mean, he lived on Banks's. He used to drink, go to loads of Banks's pubs. So we were in that sort of ballpark with the type of beer that he used to drink. Guinness, Banks's, Murphy's, Worthington, Bass, all them old school beers. And then I started giving him the odd beer here and there, and he was enjoying it. And then he started taking quite a few beers off me. Like I said, most of the box from last month he ended up having. And it was a right mixed bag of beers, wasn't there? There was a few sort of like adjunct stouts in there, black IPAs. It was quite a variety of styles. And he probably had about 5 or 6 beers out of that box, and he enjoyed every single one. And I quite like that feeling that someone that was stuck in their ways, drinking the same old beer, old beers, and then having his mind opened up to new types of beers. He didn't know what a black IPA was.
Yeah.
You know, but he enjoyed it, and he was like, wow, this is crazy sort of thing. I quite like that, you know.
Yeah, you sort of get like a bit of a buzz when, because we do it with all sorts of things when it comes to food or whatever. Oh, just try a little bit of that, see what you think. But there's something really, I mean, it's good when you want someone to try beer and you don't like it, because it means, well, more for me. But at the same time, I like it when, if someone likes beer and there's still some left in the can or bottle, it's like, well, you just have the rest of it if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love that sort of thing. It was like when around Christmas I bought a couple of mini kegs. One was a track beer brewed with marble, and it was just like a slightly hoppier bitter. And I remember we were in the garden. I was with my brother, and he had a couple of friends round, just to sort of like see Christmas in. I know it wasn't fully what you could do, but
yeah,
we tried to keep it as sort of like civil as possible. And I just like got that out with the intention of me just saves me going to the fridge, picking a beer out again and dipping into the sort of stuff I've saved for reviews. Just had it there, poured myself a glass, and like, oh, what's that? Can I have some? So they gave the glass, had a bit. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And then they were just like, can we have some more? I was like, yeah, just help yourself. That's I used to like be really, well, you can have a little bit, but I want the rest. But I've come to just appreciate if someone's enjoying, especially when it comes to beer, and it's like, if you want the rest of it, just help yourself. You don't need to ask. I just like the fact that you're having something good. And the good thing is, if I start to run out of beer, I can just like dip into the plate of Amstel or their Coors, which, by the way, I've started to have a bit of a reappreciation of Coors Light.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. There's a time and a place for any beer, isn't there? Really.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all mindset. I think the weather plays a big part in it as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can really. I mean, if it's bloody 80 odd degrees out there, and you've got the barbecue, or you're thinking of firing the barbecue up, and it's 80 odd degrees, an Heineken will do the job, won't it?
Yeah.
A can of Heineken will do the job. You know, you don't need no fancy bloody craft Pilsner or anything like that.
Yeah.
An Heineken will do the job for that situation. So yeah, there is a time and a place for any sort of beer. You know, I go to town quite heavy on imperial stouts and dark beers in the winter months, because I think that style just complements the climate.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, comments. So Jake says, wouldn't be a Belgian beer show without ridiculous head at some point. Indeed, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Tom says Belgian chocolate. Benjamin, good evening, Raggy. Raggy sent me.
Raggy.
Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Dean and Peter.
Good evening.
Evening all from the Ragster himself. How you doing,
evening,
mate?
Sir.
Thomas Jones says, evening, Raggy. Raggy, get cooking your wife's tea. Benjamin.
Well, you get a red card.
And then Tom says, I King at Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits. Lol, I'm no king, but LA matey. You're a good fella, Raggy. That's what you are, mate. You're a good fella.
Exactly. You're humble.
Some bloke. Spot on. Yeah, everybody's saying hello to each other. Love the chat, Dean, Peter. Every beer has its day. Indeed.
Definitely.
That's how you've got to see it. I know you're a big champion of that, Billy. When you like your review, I think you reviewed the Marston's beer a few times. Roger, and you appreciated it a little bit more during a different sort of situation. I think the weather was different and all that, and I think the beer come into its own, and that's what it's like for me as well with certain beers.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Hello, Camp Reviews. Cheers. Right, okay, interesting. Sorry if I've got your name wrong, chap. Carajou 78. Hi, boys. Favorite Verdant beer to both of you?
Oh,
Mine's Pulp.
Pulp. I'm trying to think what I really enjoyed.
And maybe a close second would be Headband.
I probably think the most enjoyable Verdant beer I had was that. I can't remember if it was a black IPA or an export porter, but was it the alternative currency, where the label was like an American like banknote, and it had the ship on it.
I never saw that one, mate.
That was good.
I haven't had a Verdant beer for a long while, though.
No, same here. They're a brewery that I don't even think I really sort of bought loads from in general.
They're always quite pricey around
Yeah.
my neck of the woods. I can't even remember the last one that I had. It might have been Allen. What's the other one that they did? It was the same brand.
Oh, yeah.
Allen and I might have the can somewhere.
Oh,
Howell it was. Howell.
yeah. The white can with the black writing.
Yeah. They're always a little bit expensive.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me because I've not. Even though 90% of the reviews on the channel seem to be like hazy IPAs and pale ales, which I never. I always said, I'm never gonna sort of just depend on that. But I don't know. There's Verdant. I've never really had too many Verdant beers. So it's probably that alternative currency, I think it was called, which was it was either a black IPA or export porter, and it just tasted fantastic. Pulp, that's one they bring out each year, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, I think that was my first ever beer that I tried from them, and it was like I wouldn't say I was new. I wasn't new to it all, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was finding my feet with Merc Bomb, shall we say? You get these chicken stock beers,
Yeah,
and it was like that. And I haven't at the time of me having that beer, I hadn't had a great deal of beers that looked like that, so I was sort of mesmerised with it. It was all new to me, seeing that murky, sort of like orange juice chicken stock sort of looking beer. And I loved it. And then I tried a few more from them because I was intrigued. The Hilux one.
Yeah, I had that one. Can't remember much. Yeah. I think, was it Even Sharks Need Water?
Yeah.
There was a very Citra forward one that I had that I really remembered enjoying, but I can't for the life of me remember the name.
That wasn't Fruit Car Site Exhibition or whatever it was called. Yellow Can.
Yeah, I don't think I had that one. But I know which one you mean. I just can't. It's mental, isn't it? I just can't even think of. Even if I was to think about this for like 5 minutes, I probably still wouldn't be able to give an answer. And again, they're a brewery that I would buy from them directly, but it's really limited what you can, because it seems to be a lot of like multi-packs, and which I'm not against, because I did that Daya order a couple of weeks ago, and it ticked all the boxes for me, because there was at least 6 different beers that I was able to try. But every time I looked beforehand, it was like, yeah, they put this beer that I'm not really interested in a mixed pack with this other beer that I'm not really interested in. But they've not put this beer in a mixed pack with this beer that I'm interested in. So it sort of put me off. But I've got to say, going on today, I wasn't disappointed, but the latest batch of Steady Rolling Man that I had, it didn't taste the way I remember it tasting. And from what I've been told by Harry and Adam, apparently they contract brew a lot of Steady Rolling Man now.
Who does that then? No.
I'm sure Glen Affric are the ones who brew that now for Daya, or at least some of the.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Because I think they must brew it so often that and see that's another thing that sort of puts me off about breweries like Daya and Verdant. As much as when I have them, I enjoy them. Is there's a new beer every week. Either like Track do it, Cloudwater do it.
They're all doing it. They're all doing it. Yeah.
And it's like, and it always seems to be like the IPA, double IPA, and it's like, what's different about this one that is different to the one you released last week? Because a lot of the times you've just put the hops differently on the label. The same hops, but you've sort of like maybe used a bit more of that hop in this beer and then more. So it's sort of
it's bloody it is hard to keep up with it all though, isn't it? I mean, that's one thing you guaranteed. You're never going to have to be scratching your head thinking, shit, what beer do I have now, sort of thing. Because there's always something new. Like you say, they're rolling them out on a weekly basis, and that's every brewery really.
Yeah.
You know, some more than others, obviously, but the majority of well-established modern breweries are knocking beers out left, right, and centre, and it's it's a bit frustrating sometimes.
It can be. And then you see, like Left-Handed Giant again. What do they brew? A lot of like hazy IPAs, pales, and then like really. But this, out of all the sort of new releases, when I placed my order on Bottles and Books, I was like, I'm more interested in seeing what this will taste like than a hoppy beer that I can get from every other brewery in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did watch your unboxing that you did, and you had a few bitters in there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to opening them.
Yeah.
I just need to get myself a couple of well-established, slightly more traditional bitters so I can have a sort of a base point. Because again, that's a style that sort of fell to the wayside.
Yeah, I love bitters, the old school beers.
Picked up, but again, if I'm in a pub and they've got a nice bitter or a mild on tap, I'll just have some of that, please. So I'm interested to see how these breweries, who are known for other things, tackle those sorts of styles without it being like, oh, look at us, we're mental, we brewed a bitter. And it's like,
yeah, no, I know what you mean there. I know what you mean. I remember that that time. I don't know if I think it was the first time that we met when it was over at Harry's, when he was over in Coventry Way.
Oh yeah.
We went to that little boozer, didn't we? Down by the middle of nowhere and down by the river, and they had like Theakston's mild on tap in there, and it was like bloody £1.10 a pint or something stupid. But it was a beautiful drink.
It was.
It was fantastic. That's sort of like, for me, that's one example of the benchmark of a good quality old school mild.
Yeah.
You know, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Just get back on the comments. Okay, we've done the Verdant one. Slurpy Dave just had a banana and coconut porter. I've been climbing trees ever since. Well done. Temperature is key with all beers. Yes. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants a bloody warm Pilsner?
Exactly.
A room temperature Pilsner. You wouldn't want it, would you? Brett. Hello, dudes. Hello, Brett. How are you doing, mate?
Evening, Brett. Hope you're doing well, bud.
And then Thomas says Verdun at €8 can just too much money for me. That's the thing, isn't it? It does put a lot of people off, the price on some beers. I'm all for a bargain. I don't mind splashing out now and again, but I am all for a bargain. If I can see a well-priced beer, then I'm all over it.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, I mean, I couldn't bloody week in, week out buy top-end beers all the time. It's just, my family would be homeless.
Yeah. But at least you'd be doing Trembling Madness orders each week. Then.
But to be fair, mate, it seems like each week anyway from them, I seem to be sort of like, I feel a bit paranoid because I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I keep banging on the drum about them because I think the service that they offer is bloody fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
You cannot fault it. I mean, I've ordered beers off them sort of like midday, and they've literally come the next day, more or less the same sort of time. Yeah. You can't fault it. Yeah,
I think we've discussed this in various different groups and occasions, but as awful as sort of like lockdown has been for people and also the hospitality industry and the beer industry, I've never drank as much good beer in recent memory than I have this past 1 to 2 years, and the fact that a lot of places have had to sort of adapt to we've got to somehow get our products out there, and we can't just do like local I mean, seeing local delivery in a lot of places where you get free local delivery and stuff that wasn't offered in the first place is great, and then you've got national delivery, and it's not just you have to wait 3 to 5 days for your beers. It's like you order them in the afternoon, and a lot of the times, as you said, next day you've got these beers. So it's been good to see those who have managed to steer through this, adapting and
I
doing
think
things that you hope they keep in place once.
Yeah, you'd like to think that they keep these deals, shall we say, in place for when everything does return back to normal, because they've certain brewers have done really well out of it. You know, they've adapted to it pretty well. They've got on the ball sort of thing. Where a few have left it a little bit late and missed the boat almost. But I mean, you just, and I think as well as how we are in society now, where we expect things instantly. I mean, that's all down to Amazon, isn't it, with this Prime thing, where you order something, you know, and they've sort of raised the bar for everybody else, where people expect when they go on their laptop, place an order, they expect it in their hands the next morning or whatever. You know, they knock at the door, here's your package. We expect it, don't we, as a society? Now it's now. I don't mind waiting.
Yeah, same here.
You know, if I have to wait a week, I have to wait a week. It is what it is. But I know a few people sort of like they insist on it being next day, and that's final.
Yeah.
Okay. Comments. Seriously, I do appreciate everybody taking the time to watch and leave comments. It's just keeping on top of it all. I said this when I had Raggy on my channel, and you being a guest, Peter. I want to obviously talk to you, but at the same time,
you sort of get
people commenting, you know,
saying, through.
Trying to get a fine balance. Fruit car is a single citra, yes. Okay.
Nice.
The beer and buildings. Evening, gents. Late to the party, I'm afraid. How many beers are we in? We are on our second one now, which
Yes,
was
indeed.
the Sen Stout, which isn't too bad.
Not too bad at all, actually.
Not too bad at all. Raggy in the house. Evening, matey. Let's be fair. Traditional and craft all deserves reviews, not just about craft. Yeah, yeah. I've always set my stall out as for my channel. It's everything.
Yeah.
I like going back to the old school beers. I like drinking the odd macro beer now and again. I like the craft stuff. I like the foreign stuff. I like, it's just a mixed bag. I just like trying different beers from all over the shop,
Yeah,
really.
definitely.
That's just how I roll.
Sheer variety.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's a great hobby, isn't it? It's a great hobby.
Oh, God, yeah.
It bloody empties your pockets, but it's a good hobby.
Yeah.
Hi, lads. Hope you're all okay. See, Slurpy's up to his tricks. That being his jokes, yeah?
Yeah.
Slurpy is here to gather intelligence on other beer reviewers for his next parody sketch. Who's that? Trembling Madness are my go-to at the moment. They are for me. They
Yeah.
are for me.
And again, their range of beers, some of their sort of like American imports, like actual American Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
See, that intrigues me because I like the version that we get here. There's just something about it. It's just another sort of like macro lager that's contract brewed, and the recipe's slightly different for our. Because I'd imagine there's probably like the duty and that sort of thing, which has affected the recipe for the UK market. But yeah, 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, that'll do me absolutely fine. But the idea you can get the original like tall boy,
Tall
can
boy.
Pabst,
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah. They've got they're doing some fantastic German beers.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about them. They've got so much variety. They've got some new decent stuff that's just been released. They've got some really, really good like classic German Helles lagers on their shelves. Some good Belgian stuff. They've got some good American stuff. They've just got a good mixed bag of beers. And that's what drew me into them. The old and new mix, which I'm all for. You go on the likes of, I don't know. I mean, I used to order a lot from beer merchants, but I haven't really put an order in for them for quite a while.
No,
it's all Trembling Madness now.
Yeah.
And Rad Beer as well. That's another pretty decent outfit.
I still need to make my first order with Rad Beer. Because I'm trying my best to sort of like put my money in different sort of things. Locally, don't have too many options, but when it comes to, I don't know, that's why I think I've been a bit more conscientious of buying directly from a brewery that I probably wouldn't have up until the past year or so, because I'm always making orders with the likes of Cloudwater and Track, just because I know I'm going to have a good drinking experience. Plus, I really like trying core range nowadays. I've become a lot more interested in the sort of like regularly brewed beers from breweries who I'm a big fan of. Where, like, even 6 months ago, I wouldn't even have thought, yeah, I've tried their pale ale, don't need to try it again. But I think my buying habits just change week from week. But I'm trying to just spread my sort of like money as much as I can. But as you said, you're probably just going to end up going to something like Trembling Madness because you know you're going to get a good amount of beer because you want to make it that £70 free delivery.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think a five. I think they charge a £5, don't they, for next day? You can't argue with that anyway.
No, definitely not.
Even if you're spending about £30, it's
that was one of the silly things that put me off buying from Colonel directly all this time, is the fact that there's no sort of cap for free delivery. no matter how much beer you bought, you've got to pay £8 for the delivery. And I was like, at first I was like, I don't really want to pay £8 because I could get 2 free beers with that. But then I was like, no, there's like loads of interesting beers on at one time, so you're not having to like double up, or which again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too upset about now doing. But I was like, do you know what, £8. It's not like I'm going to be making these purchases week in, week out. It's just every few months. Do you know what? I feel like just getting a few Colonel beers. I'll see what they've got on the web shop. And if it doesn't interest me, the range that they have, I'd probably just then throw a couple of Colonel beers in with an order from like a web shop that does all sorts of breweries. So I don't know, it's strange, but then a week later I'll be completely going against that and then buying another way. But it's weird. My buying habits have definitely changed, especially since lockdown.
It all depends on what you're drawn into, doesn't it? I don't know about you, but I've gone on to like sort of say for example, I've gone and looked on Honest Brew's website.
Yeah.
And I've seen like, I don't know, 3 beers that I've put into my basket. And then I'm thinking, I'm searching then for something else to just go along with it.
Yeah.
Then I'll go onto another website.
Yeah.
And they've got the beers that they haven't got on Honest Brew. But I want them. But then again, I'm thinking, well, what can I add to them to put onto that? If you know what I mean, it's never quite, click, 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 done. It's always, you know exactly what beers you want to begin with. Like there's 2 or 3 that will straight away basket, and then you're searching around just to add extras onto it.
Yeah.
And I found that with quite a few sort of web shops where you think, shit, why haven't they got them beers on there? And then I could have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. The amount of times I've gone, oh, I'm running a little bit low on some beers. I'll do a little cheeky order with somewhere. So then, like I said, you look on one website, I think, yeah. Well, let's see what this website is. So I open another tab, go to their website, and you see some beers that they have. It's like, all right, I'll put them in there, and then then it's like, but they don't have this beer. And then you'll open somewhere else, and the next week you've got like 2 different breweries open because you want to buy directly from them. And then the amount of times where I've just thought, Joe, I'm not going to buy beer tonight, and just abandon the whole thing.
Right, okay. Where are we up to? Trending month. Yeah, we've done that one. So it's Slurpee. Back in the 70s, I asked for a pint of beer. Landlord said, whip bread. Yes, please, 2 slices. Never gets old, does it? I
like that one.
Beer, thought I'd have a quick nosy. Can't stop too long. I'm having tea at Raggy's. Enjoy. Oh. Beer. I'm here, not drinking. Watching you 2 drinking is killing me, though. Have a beer, Raggy. Come on.
Yeah, just open one. Just don't get on the wine.
Steve Brewing Channel. Hello, Steve.
Evening, Steve.
Good evening, guys. Much love to both of you guys. Thank you very much, Steve.
Massive. Reciprocated, of course.
Beer in Buildings. Peter just mentioned Track. They do some great stuff. Can't wait to get some of their stuff on cask again.
Yeah, definitely. What I would say, the closest I think you'll get now, I mean, it's a few weeks before we can actually get proper cask, but their mini kegs, the way they're conditioned, it tastes vastly different to what you get and feels different to what you get in the cans. They do really good mini kegs, and they're not that expensive for who they are as well.
What's the price point then on one of their kegs?
I'm sure they had Sonoma on keg at one point for like £18 and that was for 5 litres.
You can't argue with that, can you?
No, definitely not. Some of those sort of like limited mini kegs, you'll probably pay, I'd say at most, about 25 quid.
I think I noticed as well with Trembling Madness, they had this Shankurla kegs on there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I can't believe I missed out on those. But I was like, I've got nowhere to put them. I've got nowhere to store them properly. So
I think they're only about 22 quid or something like that.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that, can you?
God,
no. Harry, now then.
Now then, young man.
How are you doing, Harry? Evening, chaps.
Good evening, Harry.
Billy says hello to Harry. I found honest brew so expensive. I used to rinse the hell out of that good. Was it Good Beer Live 10, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Discount code. £10 off and 3 P&P. Long day long. Have it. Yeah. I could curve a bottle shop. Yeah. He says hello to Raggy. What's that smell? Benjamin says. Food. Your tea's not burning again, is it? Thomas says hello to Harry. Hi. I wish I was low on beers. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You like having that shelf full of beer, mate.
Yeah, you'd love opening that door. I wish I could have a door that opens and there's a shelf of beer on it, just sitting there. Decisions,
though, isn't it? I bet you walks in there. Shit, what am I going to go for now?
Yeah. Trying to find a film to watch, but it's just beer with Harry.
Craig says, hi Harry, enjoyed your brewing videos today. And Martin Harris drinking a Burton Bridge Porter cask takeout. Any good, mate? Any good?
Ooh, it just sounds good, doesn't it?
Harry's saying cheers to Craig. Drink with Dean. What's your next beer you're having tonight? Please, Peter, go for it.
What a good segue. So, the next beer on the menu, and our third and final beer, is the Rodenbach fruit. We want to say fruitage, just to
fruitage.
Up a little bit. Fruitage, yeah. You say.
Yeah.
And this is a cherry beer, clocking in at 3.9% ABV. And I think this is the one out of the three that's intrigued me the most, because I love fruited beers.
Rodenbach are pretty steady as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I've had some good beers from Rodenbach. Especially, is it their Flanders Red Ale?
Flanders Rare. I've had a couple of beers from these, and I've enjoyed them. I'm not the biggest fruit beer fan, but I've sort of warmed to them a little bit more now.
There we go.
Ooh.
Oh, that smells good. Did you ever read in the Ferment magazine that we got with this month's box?
No, I don't. To be fair, I don't really look at it.
No, I don't really
read it. It's the same as a snack as well.
Yeah.
I just throw the snack away. I can't be done with anything like that. I want proper peanuts in there, or crisps. I don't want fucking chickpeas.
Yeah, or olives.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I want. But there's a photo in there of with the Rodenbach fruitage or fruitage in a glass, and there's fruit in it, like slices of lemon, like orange and stuff.
All right, okay.
And it intrigued me for some reason. Sort of like a Belgian Pims.
Like cherry A in the glass, then.
Yeah, definitely crystal clear. Head, but mine didn't create any head at all.
Just about half a finger's worth.
It's got a lovely shade to it.
Yes, looks nice. Pinkish sort of head almost.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's not lying about cherries, is it?
No, definitely not. That's a lovely nose on that.
Slightly sort of, I don't know, you're expecting that sort of sour edge to it from the fruity sort of cherry aroma. Might be a bit tart on the taste, I reckon.
Yeah, I could imagine it being. Almost has a sort of like Mr. Kipling's cherry bakewell aroma, because I'm almost getting sort of like a frangipane thing underneath that cherry. But get a big cherryade aroma as well.
Yeah.
Like from the bottles that you used to get when you used to drive round.
Oh, the Pop Man.
Yeah. With the nondescript.
Yeah. Get 10p back for the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't smell too bad.
Yeah. That was pretty nice. Let's give it
Cheers,
a taste. Mate. Cheers, bud.
Oh. It's not tart, it's all sweet for me.
Yeah. Very sweet cherry flavour.
That's like pop, isn't it?
Yeah. There's just off 2 sips, I'm not even getting sort of like an inkling that this is even alcoholic.
It reminds me a little bit of them cherry sweets, them lozenges.
Yeah.
Oh bloody hell, who make them?
I don't think it's. Do Lockets have a cherry flavour?
I don't know. Tunes. No, are they tunes? Cherry tunes?
Cherry tunes. Yeah, it's got a very cherry boiled sweet flavour.
Yeah. Let's just go with boiled sweets. Cherry boiled sweet all day long. I mean that's bloody stinkable. That is it for what is it? 3.9.
3.9%.
You could just keep going on that stuff, couldn't you?
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, it is sweet, but I don't think it's sickly sweet.
No, it's not too overbearing. That being said, I think after a few glasses of this, it might start to get a little bit too much. But yeah, there's.
Well, I mean, 250 ml. Even if you only had two bottles of it, you've only had a normal bottle, haven't you? At the end of the day, so it's not like you've overindulged on it or anything. Yeah, it's nice. And I mean, everything pops, doesn't it? You know, you've got that sort of like, I think with the carbonation in there, that cherry sort of like bounces around the tongue quite nicely.
It's a little bit sticky as well.
Yeah, a bit on the old lips. Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. I've just read on the back, and it's brewed with 7% cherry juice.
Okay.
But it's sort of like a carton of cherry juice.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's got that sort of like cherry flavoured sweets, or those sort of like those Haribo cherry jelly sweets where it's the two cherries.
Yeah, solid stuff that is.
Yeah, definitely. Just going down way too easily.
It is going down. It's say pop, isn't it? Cherry pop.
Yeah. I mean, that'd really be not much you can add to that. Really, it's just if you like the flavour of cherry in different forms, it's got, even though it's the one flavour, it's got different variations of how you'd have cherry.
Yeah. Yeah, you could really sing that. Could really sing that stuff. And for me, I would want to have another bottle of that. Really, I could do another bottle of that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the only criticism about this month's box is I'd have loved another sort of beer like this.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Yeah.
from Rodenbach, just another sort of like fruity,
Well, they've got plenty.
traditional.
You've got plenty to choose from, haven't you? From that sort of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the Flanders sort of region. You've got Lindemans, haven't you? They're a dab handed sort of fruit beers and
Yeah.
stuff. I'd sooner have had something more traditional in the box than all this.
Yeah, then multiple cans from the same place.
Yeah.
But then
No,
that's sort
I mean, no disrespect to Avans. As a Pilsner, it was all right,
it's
but
a good Pilsner.
I don't know. I suppose it's just choices, isn't it? You can't please everybody.
Exactly.
Beer52 have made the choice of, I think there's four old school beers in my box, and then the rest were Avans beers, and it is what it is. But I think my choice would have been more of the old school stuff.
Yeah, and especially as you said, when it was advertising it in the previous issue of Ferment, where it's got Le Chouffe on there, and I was like, do you know, I've not had a Le Chouffe beer for ages. Their Scotch ale was.
Yeah, they do
awesome
some pretty good stuff. They do some good, really, really good stuff. I think my sister-in-law bought me a box of theirs for Christmas.
Ooh.
And I think there's a fruit beer in there, to be fair.
Yeah.
Might have been a cherry beer as well. That seems to be the thing, doesn't it? Cherry beers, Belgian cherry beers.
Belgian cherry.
And yeah, it was really nice.
So, do you think this would be classed as a lambic style? Because it doesn't really have any sort of Flanders characteristics.
Fruit beer, isn't it?
It's just fruit beer. It's just
a fruit beer.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what the sort of like base.
Like the one in Tesco's, the strawberry. Is it Fru? Is it?
Oh yeah.
That's in a little 250ml bottle. I think it's Fru. And then you've got the one wrapped in paper, haven't you? The cherry beer, Bacchus, is it?
Yeah. See, for some reason, I've never picked them up. I've always sort of like just gone past it and saw what sort of like interesting real ale stuff's there or whatever. The craft ranges, and I really want to stop doing just purely going for craft because. We go back to traditional beers. I mean, I've got loads of empties on the floor where I am, but I had this
Jubilee mild
yesterday. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous mild, and that was the first mild that I've probably had for absolutely ages. I think the last time we had a mild was when, even like a year or so before things sort of went to pot, when I was just at the local labour club, meeting up with my dad and brother after they finished work, and just having a few pints of mild, play some darts. I think that was the last time that I'd had a mild, and I love the style.
Yeah, it is, again, underrated, isn't it?
It is.
Underrated. Well, if it's done properly, very, very underrated style. Like to see more people having a dab at it, but whether they do or not, innit? I mean, like you say, that left-handed giant one that you showed up on camera. It's good to see it. Yeah. Good to see them having a dab at it.
That was just as authentic tasting as some of the milds that have been around for 100 or so years, if not more.
Yeah.
And they just did a good job of brewing it, and I think that's why I want to start getting a bit more into Belgian beers because of these traditional sorts of styles.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for them now. I think I started off trying just new UK beers that I hadn't had before, and spreading out a little bit in that angle, and then I discovered German beer, which I'll never turn me back on any German beer.
God, no.
Well, you know yourself, mate. You lived over there, didn't you? So you know exactly you know, as soon as you have a decent German beer, there's no sort of turning back really.
No,
You're
definitely
up
not.
line and sinker on the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Augustina House, mate. We both like that beer.
As soon as mini kegs of that come over, they're
You're
not
on
going to
it.
be skint. Yeah. I'm going to get refrigeration unit specifically for it.
One for Monday, one for Tuesday.
I'll have a tap just coming out my bedroom wall.
Where are we up to? Bloody hell.
I mean, I think you can get hold of kegs of it because I think Harry was telling me, I think it was Harry, one of the pubs in Nottingham had the Augustine Hellers on tap. So, if I could get hold of that, that'd just be mental.
Yeah. You know, where are we up to on the comments, Peter? Mate, I lost track.
I have no idea. I've not been able to
Jesus.
have a quick look on the phone.
I do apologise, guys.
You're just also talkative.
Here we go. Here we go. Right, Steve's Brewing Channel. I think that's where we're up to. Cheers, Craig, Harry, Raggy, and everyone else. Having a good evening. Yeah. Cheers to that. Local bottle shop charges 25 quid for a Track Summer mini keg.
That's not too bad, really, especially from a bottle shop. And it's definitely well worth it because that's a beautiful little beer. That.
I think you expect a little bit more to go on top, don't you? With things like that. But yeah, 25 quid don't sound too shabby. Harry says, really thinking about a lost and grounded order. All the hell is.
Yeah, I've got a can of the Lost and Grounded Hells, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, we done well out of Honest Brew, doing good beer live. Yeah, play, mate. It's a shame that's not carrying on. That is. I bet a lot of people rinse the hell out of that good beer live.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent because they say it's like 10 quid off and free postage. It's no brainer. Ruggy says, I'm sober tonight. Martin Harris, lovely drop, Bridgeporter. Cool. Beers and buildings. Oh, I've had Rodenbach Classic from Morrison's. This cherry version looks interesting.
Yeah, it's a lovely little beer, this cherry one.
Yeah, it's really nice. Rod J.
Evening, Rod.
Cheers, Dean and Peter. Cheers to you, Rod.
Or probably afternoon, Rod.
Throw the snack away. Well, I might be lying a little bit. I do throw it, but not in the bin. I throw it at my daughter because she eats all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. The pretzel snack they had a couple of boxes ago, that was all right.
Was that the salted? What were they again? She normally has dibs on them anyway, whatever they are.
Yeah.
It's better than what they were when they first started, though, because it was like Walker's Crisps, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, those Soffles pita chips, I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah.
It's just some things aren't meant to be turned into
biltong.
snacks.
Put some biltong in there.
Oh, yeah, biltong. Even some scampi fries. Come on.
Cheese lemons.
Oh, yes.
They don't make them anymore now, do they? Gutted.
Someone needs to bring those back.
Morrison's. Mine Harris says Morrison's have double dry hop Jaipur coming soon.
I saw that on Instagram.
That'll be interesting.
I think Adam gave me a can of that a while ago, and I just drank it because I'm not a fan at all of the regular Jaipur.
I don't mind. I don't mind Jaipur, the regular stuff. I prefer it more in a bottle than a can.
Yeah,
Or I've had better experiences, shall we say? But yeah, no, I don't mind it. I mean, it's not going to set the world on fire, but I think it's a steady enough IPA. It's old school,
yeah,
isn't it? It's an old school
yeah,
IPA.
yeah. It
You know.
definitely has its sort of like place in sort of what modern craft beer is. So
Yeah,
I can definitely appreciate what it's done and what's come from it. And Thornbridge are they're a steady brewer. I've had some fantastic beers from Thornbridge.
yeah. They've again another brewery. It falls in a soft spot. One of the when their beers used to be in Waitrose. Was it Waitrose that they used to quite a bit when they were in the old 500 ml bottles,
Yeah.
and you had stuff like Kipling. You
Oh
know
yeah.
that. Oh, that's a lovely beer. That is Kipling. Um, I saw Double Dry Up Jaipur on the shelf today. Benjamin says. I haven't been in the Morrisons for a few weeks, so I wouldn't know.
God, I don't know where my local one's got a bus ride rate, but then again, Morrison's are on Amazon Prime, so I'm always interested to see what selection you'd have from the Morrisons on Amazon compared to your local branch.
What's that Amazon Pantry then? Is it or
No, I think Morrison's actually, because I know the shops have actually popped up, haven't they? The Amazon pantry, but I think a lot of it is just Morrison's stuff at the moment.
okay?
But you can actually do, it's mental. We were talking about next day delivery. You can, if you get it ordered early enough, you can actually have same day delivery through Morrison's on Amazon Prime. Like how much more privileged can you get?
I bet they don't like it. Though. I bet it's a bloody headache though, sorting it
Oh
all out.
god, yeah,
Because the amount of people that jump on that just for the sake of being convenient,
yeah.
you know, I bet it causes a bit of a logistical nightmare. Because I suppose Amazon, Morrison's have to do the delivery, don't they? Or is it
Yeah, I'm not
Amazon?
sure how it works because it comes with Amazon because you get all your because we've shopped a few times just for convenience. But we had like there was like a waiting list just to be accepted to do your
Okay.
shopping. But you just get it in these like big brown sort of like American grocery bags with Amazon Prime written on it, and I'm thinking, are they going to like our local sort of Morrison's branches and like picking all these orders up and then taking them somewhere else, or has like the Amazon facility, which is our closest, do they have like a Morrison section now? And
Yeah, it's weird
it's a
how
weird thing.
a lot of people that I've spoke to in the past before they have said they've always even back before Amazon became this massive monster that they are, they've always had one eye on the grocery sector at one point. I know a few years back, as it was Asda and Sainsbury's tried to amalgamate
Yeah,
to shield themselves from what Amazon are potentially going to do in the future. But I think that merger got blocked. The fair trade, whatever the
oh yeah,
organisation is, they didn't allow it to happen. But that was the argument from Asda and Sainsbury's to amalgamate to sort of protect themselves from it, because I think that's what will happen eventually. I think Amazon will become like your Tesco's.
yeah.
You know,
Because
they've got the power to do that, haven't they?
oh, definitely, they've got the power, they've got the money, and I've seen some because I was interested about these Amazon places that have popped up in like London and stuff. And it's mental how it happens. All you do is you sort of like I think you have to scan yourself in. I think you have to like, have an app and then scan yourself in. And everything's got like a barcode on the labels. And I think they've
Yeah,
got scanners on the ceilings. So all you're doing is once it's in your sort of like basket, it scans automatically. You just get your groceries, you bag them up, and you just leave, and then you get charged later on. It's
Crazy,
just
isn't it?
mental, isn't it? But
It's
a lot
crazy.
of people are saying it took a few days for the charge to show up on the bank account. Sort of like when you pay something by PayPal and it takes a little bit longer to actually be taken from your bank account. Just I can imagine a lot of people, even as convenient as it is, that's going to cause a lot, because you don't know how much you've spent until you get your. Because there's no like little system that says, "Oh, you bought this, you've scanned this, you've scanned this." It's just leave, and then we'll charge you a few days down the line.
Yeah.
But it really wouldn't surprise me, because Amazon do the Morrison shop, if Amazon just bought Morrison's.
There's probably some sort of financial stake somewhere along the line.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a case of Morrison's thinking, well, hang on a minute, if you can't beat them, join them, sort of attitude.
Yeah, they've got into many other sectors, so it makes perfect sense to get into the supermarket business.
Yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah,
I can see it happening. It's the writing's written on the wall, really, for that scenario to happen. Whether it's 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, but I think it will happen, where there'll be. I don't know if they're going to be the dominant force in the groceries division, but they're going to have a massive chunk out of it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just playing about with dry goods at the moment, aren't they? But when it comes to sort of like fresh food, frozen food, like you said, they've got the buying power to make it happen.
Yeah.
Refrigerated vehicles and refrigerated warehouses and all that. It'd be a drop in the ocean, wouldn't it, for them financially? Chicken feed. Ruggy says Carlisle have it first. Check out Borman's beer reviews. Okay. Wayne, hello, Dean and Peter. Cheers, gents. Cheers, Wayne.
Good evening, Wayne.
Hello, chat. Cheers. Love of fruit beer, says Ruggy. Canberra tunes. Yeah, I think I was thinking of another sweet, a boiled sweet, a cherry boiled sweet.
Cherry boiled sweet.
Yeah, because tunes you'd have like a sort of eucalyptus sort of thing in there as well, wouldn't you? And it ain't got any of that in there.
I'm thinking out Soothers.
It could be Soothers, yeah.
Because I know they do cherry flavour.
Yeah, it could be them, mate. Soothers.
It's just hit me then.
Looks a nice one. Yeah, it was.
It was.
What would you say the best of the bunch? If you, I'm going to go for that. The fruitage.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that one as well. It was what I expected. I thought it was going to be maybe a little bit more tart, a little bit more sourness, but I'm just amazed at how sort of like sweet and just sweet but easy drinking at the same time. Right, I'm just going to nip to the loo.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to catch up with comments anyway, just to get on top of all this. Where we got Ruggy. It does look nice. Bugger no beer at the mo. Need to correct that, mate. You definitely need to correct that. And then he says, I do like Bacchus. Fruly on draft at the Ned Ludd in Nottingham. Take some beating. I bet that is a nice drop on tap. I've only had that once, and I think that was Christoph Ale Degustation. I think he sent me one as a mystery beer, but it was decent. Harry says just cracked open a Phantom Brewing Crush Pale. Any good, mate? He says not bad at all. Not bad at all. And then Wayne says cherry beer. I'd be interested to try that. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I would normally gravitate towards, if I'm completely honest. I mean, if I walked into a bottle shop and I saw that on the shelf, I'd probably clock it, but I'd probably walk past it and go for something like a New England IPA or an Imperial Stout. So I am sort of like pleasantly surprised, I guess, that I've liked it, and it's good. I would recommend that. Yeah, I would strongly recommend that. Beer and buildings. Don't think I've ever had truly on draft. Had a bottle though, unless I've had it in a Belgian bar when I was too young and foolish to appreciate the stuff I was drinking. We've all been there, mate. We've all been there. Beer 52 is just not worth it. Some months, yes. Other months, no. It's sort in the rough with the smooth, isn't it, with it? I mean, and when Peter does come back, again, it's something that we both kind of agree on, where I know for me, I've got to the point where I thought, I can't be bothered with this anymore. And to be fair, the whole sort of format of it isn't really me, because I like to pick my own beers, whether it's when we go to bottle shops or order online. I like to add my beers to my basket, and I don't like the randomness of what I'm going to be sent, if that makes sense. When I was first getting into it, I was quite happy to have it because I was all new to it. It didn't really faze me. It was a new beer I hadn't had, but now I think because we've got so much variety now, so much choice, when we get these subscription boxes sent to us, it is a bit of it's almost like a little bit of a leap of faith in what they're going to send you. We're just saying about the Beer 52 box, Peter, like where we've sort of thought we're going to sack it off and then we don't.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, isn't it? It is a funny one.
Because you sort of like the box that you didn't expect, that you wanted to like either swerve or completely cancel. And then you have a few beers that's not too bad actually. And then you see what's coming next, and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. And then sometimes you get the box, and it's like the selection. It's like, yeah, it's all right. But I think my plan is to, because obviously you get your points for doing your reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
My plan is to be up to date with my points, have a look on the web shop, and just do one last order.
50% off.
Yeah. And then because they've got some good stuff on the web shop.
Yeah,
To be fair,
yeah.
I've made a good order a while ago. It's a shame it wasn't at the time when really early into lockdown when they said you can actually use all your points on an order. I should have done it there and then, but I've had some good stuff. So I think I'm gonna just, once I've drank all my beers, just put my reviews up, get the points, and spend them, and then. But there's part of me that wants to see what this next box is with the cities of the world.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They dangle a little carrot, and you think, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Do I sack it off, or do I just? And there you go. You find yourself in that sort of loop again, don't you? Where you think you're not put up with it. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but you forget about it, and it just turns up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we were saying before we went live about, I think I'll cancel it this month. Then you forget to do it, and then next minute, you know, you've got a text message.
Yeah.
Your Beer 52 delivery will be delivered tomorrow, sort of
it's
thing.
Like,
you know.
Oh shit.
Shit. Yeah. Damn it. That was what I should have. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Just you forget about it, don't you? You just forget about it.
Yeah. Although
I do appreciate that people. It's not people's bag. I do get that. I do get that.
I would say that they're a lot better than what they used to be. Because there are some really ropey boxes. But another reason why I want to
box was shit, wasn't
it? Yeah, that was awful. That should have been a really interesting insight to South African
It
brewing.
was two
But,
two breweries, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was all it was.
Yeah, pretty much. Just 2 breweries.
Yeah. Let's showcase South Africa with 2 breweries.
Yeah. But we'll talk about other breweries in the book you get with the box.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's good. Well, at least I know about them. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get hold of their beers.
Yeah.
But thanks
No
for
good
letting me
to
know.
beast, is it, that?
Yeah.
Benjamin says, I had one good box when I was a subscriber. Polish beer box, about 4 years. Yeah, the Polish beer box was really good.
Polish beer box was really good.
Brother Stu Mostov, wasn't it? A lot of their beers were in there. Salamander series and stuff like that.
Yeah,
good
they're
box,
a good
was.
brewery.
And the German box.
German box, the second German box that they released, I didn't think was as good, but that first box, because it was a really diverse selection of breweries, I actually bought a second box just to make sure I had as many of the different beers as I possibly could, and it actually worked out quite well.
Yeah. I mean, not every box is going to be amazing, is it? You know, you're gonna have certain boxes where they're more exciting than others. That's just how it is, I guess.
Well, I had that when I was subscribed to the Mikkeller Club box as well.
Yeah.
There was sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't really want a beer like this. Even though if you were to, it was one of those situations where if you were to buy that bottle on its own or that can on its own, you're probably going to pay a good amount of money. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to pay that much anyway for a single beer. So as you know, sort of lucky as I was to receive a beer that you'd pay God knows how much for, it's like, it's just not something I'm interested in.
Harry says cherry shoof, I think. Yeah, that was the one, Harry. Yeah, cherry shoof. It was quite nice. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think the best cherry beer I've ever had was the Castile one. The cherry Castile, and that was bloody lovely. That was really nice. Craig says Creek. What for that? Is that what it is? Is it a Creek beer?
That makes sense, actually.
I like Beer52. You get the odd mediocre box, but I love the theme boxes from different countries: Ireland, Poland, USA, Netherlands, for example. Yeah, it's a nice little idea. It's just I don't think they go the whole hog with it.
Yeah,
they could use that sort of base a whole lot more to their advantage and really showcase the country.
Definitely, yeah.
Opposed to just grabbing 2 or 3 brewers and just saying, look, we want your beers. You know, they could reach out a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could already see if they did a Danish box, you're going to primarily get sort of like really basic Mikkeller beers, which you get
cool
with Mikkeller.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of the UK mix boxes are quite good because they are quite diverse when they do sort of like a UK theme, like Beer52 Awards box or Summer of Hops box and stuff like. Because you do get a more diverse range because they're obviously easier to get hold of beers that way.
Yeah.
It must be hard for them to secure a good selection of beers from other countries, and I'd imagine there's been times where they've intended to get this, that, and the other beer, but they've just not been able to get it in time because it might have been held up in customs. So it wouldn't surprise if some boxes have been changed just because they weren't able to get hold of stuff they intended to get hold of.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's the first initially the first Belgian box that they were going to release. I think that's when tits up because of Brexit, I think.
Yeah, because that was being advertised quite a while ago.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I know it wasn't the last one, so it was probably two before then, maybe. Because I was quite excited about it, and then it just never happened. But yeah, I'm going to guess. I'm guessing that's down to the Brexit thing, where they pulled the drawbridge up and they just couldn't get the beers that they wanted. without all the bloody headache that went with it, extra
Yeah.
customs charges and all that crap. Harry says, I've heard that the Drink Valley has very good selection of Belgian beer. Okay, Drink Valley, new one on me, mate. Now, Peter, it's a pub in Tonbridge where I'm meeting with Ryan.
Tonbridge.
Tonbridge.
Oh, is that the Drink Valley? I think that may or not be a shop that Harry might or might not be involved with.
Oh, okay. Brizix Beer Reviews, hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Who was the first beer reviewer you watched and made you get into yourself? Peter?
Mine's probably going to be Terry K. And he was the first beer reviewer who actually commented on one of my beer reviews. Like one of my first ever beer reviews said, keep doing this.
Yeah,
and
Terry.
met
him.
Yeah. I don't think he even knew who I was until then. Not like, because a lot of these sort of things, you're a commenter on someone's videos and then you take the step. But I think he was just at that time, just whenever a new beer reviewer popped up, he seems like the guy who'd like subscribe to them and actually watch them. So I think that it was him. And I think it was through him that I first saw Rob. And they were at GBBF.
Oh, great British Beer Festival, yeah.
I remember just because I've been watching him for a while, and then there's just this Rob guy who's dead pissed, and I thought, God, he's a bit annoying. He seems a bit too much for me. And then, obviously, he's actually got a YouTube channel. Let's have a look. It's not too bad. Then next week, we're meeting up in Leeds, Manchester. We've been plenty of places, met up with everyone else. So it's weird, isn't it? How you have that first.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think
who's this pissed bloke?
I'd go with Simon. Simon was the first guy that I fell in the rabbit hole with, shall we say, with beer reviewers. Yeah, Terry was one of them as well, Beer Goggles, and then you started branching off to others then, and then that's how the likes of Rob Opsine, he came down the road as well through watching Simon. Adam's Craft Beer Channel, again a good mate of Stuart's Ginger Ale Trail, good mate of him and Rob, but he no longer does it now, unfortunately. And then it snowballed a little bit with it opened it up to people like James, Rampant Lion. He came onto the radar then and been doing it more or less the same sort of time as them lot. And then you start looking down for other people then, don't you? And that Harry popped up. And then Craig was around. Jonathan, Northern Southern Beer Reviews. And then you've got Jake. It just kept going. And Terry's Quick Beer Reviews.
Yeah, Terry's Quick Beer Reviews.
Yeah. There's so many doing it now. It's hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's mental to think back then before we started doing this sort of, because I was like, what was I actually doing as a hobby beforehand? I can't really remember what I was spending most of my time doing.
Well, I think when the first video I watched with you were still operating under Mondo Squalido.
Yeah, with the film. Yeah, that's what. And I sort of just stumbled into making beer reviews because I think it was when I got that Witchwood box of character.
Witchwood
character box, and I thought, you know what, I'll just. And I think that's where Terry
East Coast IPA, mate. That's still the one for me. Green King East Coast IPA. Yeah. That was the one that thought, I quite like this guy. Yeah, That was the my first video that I watched of yours. That was the old Greeking East Coast. You were living over in Germany then, were you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloody hell. Seems like a distant memory, mate.
It does, doesn't it? It seems fucking ages ago. It's only a few years.
I remember Beer Goggles reviews. He got me turned into ales for years. Yeah, yeah. It's a shame he don't do it anymore as well. I don't know why he packed it up, but he had a pretty good following. He did, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Raggy says, I seen Simon one night on TV and thought I can't talk crap about beers. Japer has become a classic. The craft scene has moved on, but it's still a good beer in my opinion. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's perfectly drinkable. Like I say, it's not the wow beer that it probably first was when it first came out onto the scene. Like a lot of beers. I mean, when Punk IPA first come out, that was a game changer, wasn't it? Way back then. Yeah. But now it's sort of like, yeah, we've moved on now, sort of thing. That's just like, how it is.
Yeah.
It's always turning, isn't it? It never stops.
Yeah, Punk's become sort of that. I'll buy a 4-pack every now and then just to have 4 easy drinking,
switch off,
slightly hoppy beers.
Yeah, switch off and drink it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you seen that box that we've done? That new subscription?
Nope.
It's basically you get 2. I think it's 8 cans. So you get 2 Brewdog beers and then you get 2 guest beers. But they've brewed the beers at Brewdog because it's all part of their sort of like greener way of brewing. So instead of like paying to have beers imported and like all the emissions and the carbon footprint, they brewed it. It's sort of like fanzine really, but you get guest beers, and I think you can get 2 of each one. And I think that the first box, all you had to do was just pay the postage, and then you can just cancel straight away. And I think it's still available, but it's one of those things, sort of like with the free 4-pack of Lost Lager, you had to queue up. And I saw it in the day, and there was like people like, I'm 1057th in the queue, and then I just like out on a whim at like 9 o'clock in the evening. I thought, you know what, I'll have a look at this because it popped up again on my Instagram. I just got in there straight away and just did it because I thought it's going to be a few beers, at the very least, just to have in your fridge. I think you get Elvis juice, which I'm not upset about.
You love Elvis juice, don't you? That's a go-to beer of yours, that is, isn't it?
It used to be. I've got to admit though, the last can I had, it was like, yeah, it's all right. I don't know. It might have been a slightly older sort of 4-pack that I picked up. You get that. I think you get a pale ale, and then they're doing a Cloudwater beer and a Modern Times beer.
Yeah,
so
Modern Times.
That's their first box.
They make some good stuff. They do, Modern Times. Yeah.
I've never really bought too much from Modern Times. I want to try their stouts because I know they've got a big emphasis on coffee. Coffee.
They've got their own. Yeah, they've got their own roasting facility now, haven't they? Because I think they knock out on their website. They knock out their coffee beans and stuff bag up their coffee beans.
Yeah.
And I think you've got different variations of coffee. Bourbon barrel aged coffee beans and all that. But I know Beer Gonzo, they used to have a lot of their sort of core range stuff in there. Is it Blazing World and Fruitlands and beers like that? Yeah, I mean, good pedigree of beer. San Diego's sort of hot spot in it for decent stuff. But yeah, they're good beer, good US beer.
Yeah, I have to pick some up because I know a few. They've got a few of their beers on the Cloudwater web shop because I think they did like an event with them. But again, you see them pop up on quite a few web shops, but it's a lot of their sort of like big bottles and stuff like that.
And Beer Republic, they stock a lot of their stuff as well.
Beer Republic.
Over in Holland. But
Yeah.
it's a P&P though, that's the trouble. And you've got to be a bit careful with what you order because of customs charges and stuff. So I think it's sort of like a small package of beer is about €15. But then when you want bigger boxes, the P&P starts to get a bit crazy sort of thing, and it puts you off.
Things that puts me off about stuff like that. It was like a Belgium. I made an order with those, and the beer, like my birthday, like about 4 or 5 years ago. Great beers, but I was just like, I spent so much on so little.
Yeah. That's is Master of Opits. He's something to do with that, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he used to actually get sponsored. Imagine being sponsored by a web shop like that. Is this really hard to get? Like peated barley wine from 2014 that they've just bottled.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we could charge you £50 for that, but just drink it.
Yeah, just have it. Yeah. Nice little endorsement now, isn't it? Ian says Thornbridge Cocoa Wonderland. That's not a bad porter. I've had that for ages as well,
and I enjoyed that.
And Cocoa Wonderland is bloody lovely. Raggy says Lincoln Green Brewing co near me do a 6% mild. Okay, now a dipper mild, isn't
it? Sounds good though. Oh, but then again, I'm sort of like I kind of like the milds at that around 3%, but I'd still drink it though. I'd still probably really enjoy it.
You just neck them, don't you? The beer's to be necked.
Yeah.
Ian saying hello to Beer and Buildings. Raggy, Big Ben, it's awesome. Ashover Brewery also do a few milds, lovely. I suppose it's a bit of a regional thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
With milds. I know when I visit my old man in Stafford, that's a nice little hotbed for that sort of style of beer. All the traditional beers, they're still around.
Yeah.
Yet when I'm back in Oxfordshire, few and far between.
Yeah.
It's not very often you see a mild about. I know, and Norton did one, and it wasn't a bad effort. But that's about it, really.
Yeah, I think there's the Prospect Brewery. They do a good mild. And,
you sent me one of them.
I think I sent you one of those. And did I send you one from Southport Brewery?
Yes, you did.
Their mild's really good as well. But they're one of those.
They're both nice.
Yeah, they're one of those breweries that the only time I've ever really seen their beer that I can get off the shelves is at like a farm shop, and they're like charging like nearly like £4 for a bottle because it's in a farm shop. Well, it's not them charging that; it's obviously the farm shop that charges it.
Jumping on the bandwagon, isn't it? With That does piss me off sometimes when you go into like village shops and farm shops, and you see sort of like bare bones beers with stupid price tags on because it's in posh shop, or you can jack the price up a couple of quid on this here because we've got bloody posh bacon and selection of cheeses that nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah, definitely.
Cocoa Wonderlands. Oh, there's that comment gone. Get here, get back. Are you happy to keep going, Peter?
Yeah, I've got that Siren Rain to hand, so I'm going to crack it open.
Yeah, I'm going to open another beer. I think this came in my last Beer 52 box. Bristol. Is it Bristol Beer Factory? Yeah, Bristol Beer Factory and Wogan Coffee. espresso martini.
Ooh,
Espresso milk stout, dark chocolate, malt coffee, lactose.
that sounds good. I'm looking forward to revisiting Broken Dream. I remember very early into lockdown, Siren started doing their like most breweries did, lockdown boxes.
Yeah.
And they had the Shattered Dream, the Imperial version. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells
Yeah,
nice.
Cocoa Wonderland's lovely. Wayne, luckily for me, I live with the heart of Michael Brewery Haven, probably about 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes from my house. Matter of fact, one just opened up 2 miles from my front door. Bingo.
Get in.
Water up says, evening lads, evening Paul.
Good evening.
Someone's saying hello to Paul. Hi Paul, hello Paul. Hi guys, Geordie K.
Evening.
I'd love to join you guys. Hello Geordie, cheers. Just enjoying a few Oakham Citra ales whilst watching Oakham. I've had an Oakham beer for ages.
Same here. I've not had Citra for ages.
Again, another classic old school beer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I put that in the sort of like same pedigree as something like Ghost Ship and
Yeah, Ghost Ship.
Shepherd Neame's IPA.
Terry K is a top man. Yes, yeah. I used to enjoy some of his reviews, to be honest with you. He had a way with words.
Yeah, definitely.
Evening, guys. Having a dipper by two by two from Newcastle. First beer from them, and really solid. Have you heard of them,
2 by
Peter?
2. That's
2
a
by
new
2?
brewery. New brewery for me.
No. The only one I know from Newcastle is Wylam.
Yeah, I think there's Wylam that I know by the river, which I think Wylam have something to do with. And funny enough, Adam sent me, dropped off a few beers. There's a Full Circle Brew. I think they're out in Newcastle.
Oh, yes, Full Circle, yeah.
RB, let me just
I've had one beer from them before.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had I think I've had one or two, and they were, I think it was just like a very basic sort of IPA, but it was good, so I'm looking forward to those.
Paul Thrupp says, cheers. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bud.
Geordie K. Ronald J. from Louisiana Beer Reviews. I think he is Brill. He's been going for he's been going forever. He was one of the first ones.
Yeah, he was one of the first people to actually comment on my beer reviews. I know there's a bit of a point of contention with Ronald, but he's still knocking them out though.
Yeah. He leaves comments on my videos. To be fair, so I've got no beef with anybody like that, you know.
No, don't really talk to him outside of the beer stuff. I don't think I've actually spoken to him for a good couple of years, but he always pops up on my feed with his live streams at like 8 o'clock in the morning our time.
Yeah,
where he's drinking his doing his whiskey taste stuff.
Yeah, he likes to. I mean, he does champion the easy to get hold of American stuff, and fair play to him. But I know he has got a soft spot for the European traditional stuff. You know, because I know he's managed to review beers like that in the past before. But I think he just has a job to get his hands on the beers now.
Yeah, and he's one of those people who've brought breweries like Leinenkugels to my attention. I want to try stuff like that. These sort of established American craft breweries that aren't like, you know, the trendy sort of new wave.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't get the sort of distribution as the likes of Founders, Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
They're sort of like family-run breweries and that.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably bloody shitloads of them sort of breweries knocking around. they just don't get the coverage, do they?
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah.
You've got the big boys sort of taking the limelight constantly, and allowing these little breweries to shine a little bit, because I'm sure there's loads of them around.
Yeah.
There's got to be, hasn't there?
I mean, I don't know. I was reading something on. It was like one of those adverts on Instagram, and I think Sierra Nevada, you can actually buy direct from Sierra Nevada now in the UK, and it's supposed to be the freshest way to get Sierra Nevada beers. I love Sierra Nevada. They're just one of those breweries I never get tired of.
Yeah, that pale ale. Again, that's an all day long beer for me.
Yeah.
I never get tired of that beer.
Yeah, the only time you're ever going to have a bad Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is because it's either really old or it's been kept badly from where you purchased it.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to pick a if I'm being dragged to the supermarket and we go to Sainsbury's, I'll always pick a couple of bottles of the Sierra Nevada up in there.
Yeah.
The layout, I mean, it's not the most sexiest lineup of beers in Sainsbury's, and I don't think it ever has been. But the way that they've got the store laid out, it's almost, you've got these massive UV lights up and down the supermarket aisles. The one down in the beer aisle is kind of shielded from that light, which I think probably helps with beers, especially beers in clear bottles anyway. So I've never had a bad beer from, Sierra Nevada beer out of Sainsbury's. It's always been spot on for me.
Oh, that's good.
Never tasted old or run down or anything. It's always been tip top. And it's just lovely stuff, isn't it? It really is lovely stuff.
Just something I could, when you get a good bottle or can of it, you could just drink it non-stop. And again, that's probably one of those key beers that got me into.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh wow, I've never had a beer that tastes like this. So then it was one of those beers that like popped up in like places like TGI Fridays and like little bit of sort of like poncy like burger places and stuff, and they'd always have like a Sierra Nevada Pale, and it's like, yes, I'm going to have that.
You get these little moments, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I was completely mesmerised. The very first time I saw a can of Gamma Ray, I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
I was like, just fascinated by it. I haven't had it for a long while, but at the time when I did have it, again, it was a beer I couldn't leave alone.
Yeah.
As an American pale ale goes, it was spot on back then when it first came out. Like a lot of the Beavertown beers, really. I think their core range was pretty hard to beat back then.
Yeah. One of the best.
Yeah. Black Betty as well. I mean, that was a banging beer.
Yeah, that was good. And you can go to breweries like Magic Rock as well. I mean,
yeah, Dark Arts. Fantastic stuff, really.
Yeah, and High Wire Grapefruit.
Yeah,
probably the beer that could, for me, rival Elvis Juice if you're into grapefruit beers, and of course, Common Grounds.
Common Grounds.
It doesn't matter what people say about Magic Rock. Because I know there's always that discussion of where their money goes to now.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. But I'll tell you what, one of the best drinking experiences I've had in the past couple of years was getting a mini keg of Common Grounds and just...
Yeah.
It was just what I wanted.
They don't skimp on the coffee in that as well. It's fully loaded, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fully loaded on. If you're a coffee geek and you like your coffee beers, you won't be disappointed with that if you've never had it. It's definitely well worth investigating on, because it's a good solid beer. Cheers, Wayne. Terry K is a top man. Evening, guys. Yeah, we've done that one. Rampant Line Views. Cool guy, very professional with his beer. I'll tell you what, mate, he's got some staying power, hasn't he, to do a bloody review for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Daily, more or less.
I mean, you get a nice history lesson with
you do, you get everything. You get the whole shebang. You get the the ins and outs of the brewery, and then you get the beer review on the back end of it.
Yeah. Plus, he's one of the few beer reviewers who I know who doesn't really drink that much.
No, he doesn't. No, he's not. He's not really a big drinker, is he?
No, he never really does. If he's on live streams, he's either not drinking or he's just done one beer review and then that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
if
suppose
I'm
it's
going,
not a bad way to be, though, is it?
yeah, exactly. But if I'm going on a live stream, I'm pretty much just still drinking throughout against my better judgment.
It's all the moment, isn't it? They just
Yeah.
fall into. You've got to have a beer, haven't you? You know, talking about beer, you've got to have one in your hand, really. Cheers to Peter and to Dean. Cheers to you, Geordie K. Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, Geordie K.
I blame you guys for sending me down this rabbit hole. Yeah, we've all got to pass the buck.
Yeah,
Shit
exactly.
rolls downhill, mate. Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah, we've all got someone to blame.
Yeah, pass the buck. Sofa King drunk. Yeah, again, he's another the old guard. Danny. Yeah, he started. He's packed up now, hasn't he? Bless him.
Oh, really? Is he fully stopped?
Yeah, he's concentrating more on his health and stuff. He's like fitness. He's going down that road. So yeah, fair play to him. But he had a good crack at it, didn't he? I mean, he's probably been going about the same time as Rob, maybe.
Yeah.
Rob and Simon. But yeah, he still stops by every now and again and says hello.
So it's just coming to my mind now. We're talking about these sort of like old school American craft. I don't half miss Ballast Point. Just even seeing their beers. I don't see them.
Yeah, I do.
I don't see anyone reviewing them. I don't see any sort of like photos or any options on web shops.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing they're still going, but everything's been closed down this side of the pond, hasn't it? With them.
Yeah.
There used to be. I think it was Belgium. They used to stock their beers because I think I put an order in years ago with some of their beers. Oh bloody hell! Come on, reel some off, Peter.
There was the Sculpin
IPA. That's their flagship beer, isn't it?
I think they did like variations on that because they did the grapefruit Sculpin. And didn't they do like a chili version of that as well?
Yes, they did. Yeah, and they did one with they did a Scotch ale. I forget what it was called now. It had a skeleton piper on it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. They've done. I mean, they've got a pretty good. When you look at their back catalogue of beers, they've got a pretty good variety on the list. But yeah, we just don't see their beers anymore.
No.
Longfin. I think they did Longfin Lager as well. That was pretty good.
Yeah, you don't really see Stone that much.
No.
Who else? Like Great Divide are a brewery that I want to get more beers off because
Yeti Stout.
Yeah, that was probably just like Sadako, one of the best Imperial Stouts I've had, especially the chocolate version that they did. It was just like melted chocolate. And it wasn't even like an adjunct sort of Imperial Stout.
And Bear Republic Racer 5 used to be an M&S.
Yeah.
That just disappeared overnight. That did. I always used to get, if I went into an M&S, I always used to get a bottle or two of that because that was a bang on IPA. That was. Pierre Brunos. Cheers, guys. Thomas says hello to Paul. I order Pabst Blue Ribbon from a site called Beer Sniffers. Anyone ordered from it? Is it trustworthy?
Let's have a look at that. I've not heard of it.
No, new one on me, that is, mate.
Beer sniffers.
Brian McEwen's champion, Dean. I think I may have had that.
Haven't they changed the name of that?
What, champion?
Yeah, I'm sure they've sort of rebranded that. Or because that's the whiskey champions, the whiskey, or is it just the whiskey aged version that they've changed the name of?
Yeah, they sell that in Morrison's, don't they?
Yeah.
Forget what it's called now. Bloody hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just having a look on this Beer Sniffers website, and I've gone to the
Headspace.
Headspace, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. I'm looking on this Beer Sniffers website. It looks fairly legit. And when you go onto Beers by Brewery, in A, the first option is AB InBev. So they're not hiding away from the fact that they've got AB InBev.
Cards on the table.
Yeah, I mean, Duclia Pills, £2.5 a bottle.
Oh yeah, that's a Belgian Pilsner. That's all right, that is.
That doesn't seem like a bad website, actually. Augustina Hellers, £3.9. It isn't too bad. £4.50 for Maximator. When a lot of places are selling that for like £5.30 and stuff like that. I think I might have to do a bit of research into that website. Some good breweries listed on there.
I'll have to remember that one myself. Harry says Shattered Dream got re-released recently.
That in Nitro would be really nice.
I don't know. I don't think they seem to nail Nitro beers though. I've had a couple now. I had a red IPA from them.
I think I had that one as well. Wasn't that the one where they released the standard version and the Nitro version?
I think it was, yeah.
Combined. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, but the Nitro wasn't good on that. But I think the idea of a Nitro version of Shattered Dream sounds better than probably what a Nitro version of Shattered Dream would be like.
Well, again, harping back to the bottle shares in the past. Again, at Harris, when he had that selection of Caribbean chocolate cake variations.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of them were bloody off the scale, weren't they?
Oh god, yeah.
Now on Turning Point, pink matter custard.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's got to have a good body. If it's got custard on it, you'd like to think it's got a good body.
Yeah. What's it? Is it Moncado Brewery out of London? They do that Impy custard.
Yes, yeah.
That's a good beer. That when I had that, it sort of reminded me of an Omnipollo Imperial Stout, just without all the added things to make it an Omnipollo. It was just amazing how some breweries can get these big gloopy, just so flavoursome stouts by just using the water.
Magical moments, isn't it? Yeah, magical moments. Beer and Building says, where are you based, Peter? I'm guessing up north from some of the breweries you're talking about.
Yeah, in a small town called Skelmersdale, which it's right next to Wigan, and it's quite close to Liverpool as well.
And he says, artisan farm shops, laughs. Rip-off merchants.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Ronald comments on my beer reviews too. Okay, I'll see you do beer reviews then. I'll have to go and have a look at you, mate. Check you out. Michael Barber, my missus lives in New Hampshire and there are loads of great microbreweries and tap rooms in New England.
Oh, I bet there are. Oh,
some belters.
Yeah, I bet you're just like a walk away from having some absolutely belting beers.
Yeah. Jake is on the Dea saturated in Strata. It's damn good.
I think I had that recently. That was really good. Their saturated series has probably been one of my favourites.
I've only had the Citra. I've only had the Citra from that series, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
You don't love Citra.
I've not bought anything from Northern Monk for quite a while, and they're like one of my all-time favourite breweries. I was actually gonna make an order because they just released that Double Heathen, which is like the triple IPA version of Heathen, which is just a beautiful beer. Anyway,
what's that about 11%?
Yeah, and it was just all sold out, so I was like, I don't really want to make an order now.
Typical. He says hello to Jake. James Moore had that from Dale last week. Was really impressed. And then Paul Beer Reviews. Hello, Paul. Evening, lads. Hope you are well.
Good evening,
doing
Paul.
all right, Paul, mate. How are you? Hope you're doing all right. Ian says, I don't mind the London Porter from Sainsbury's, which is brewed by Shepherd and Neame. Yeah, that's not too bad.
I've not had that. I've not had any of those beers brewed for Sainsbury's.
I think that's is it one of the Taste the Difference sort of range?
Right, okay.
That sort of name. And then Thomas says hello to Paul. And then Paul says hello back to Thomas. Common Grounds is a good beer. Yes, it is. Very good beer.
Especially on cask. I'm not usually the biggest champion of cask when it comes to pale beers, especially, but Common Grounds needs to be drank on cask.
Thomas says I don't drink that much. I probably have a beer a night unless I'm up early, then I won't bother. Yeah. And then weekend, it is what it is at weekends. You just sort of like whatever you want to do, sort of thing.
Yeah, could be one, could be two, could be five.
Just go with the flow, sort of thing. Yeah. Whatever mood you're feeling. Dan Jones says, "Good evening, gents. Good evening, Dan."
Good evening, Dan.
I mean, you've got to take your hat off to Thomas, though. He comments on a hell of a lot of people's beer reviews. He's always there, isn't he, in the thick of it, saying hello to people and everything, which is great. It's great stuff.
Yeah, and he's been doing his like interviews on his channel as well.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea.
I'd be so anxious and nervous to.
Yeah. And he just comes out with whatever, you know. Yeah. It's on the spot sort of stuff, you know. There's no sort of like, you know, this is what I'm going to say to you, blah, blah, blah. It's just, here it goes sort of thing. Yeah. No, it's a good little format there, Thomas.
Yeah, I think you're on something really good with that, Thomas.
And then people saying hello back to Thomas. No, Champion and Headspace are two different beers.
Okay.
Both decent. And now he says it is a nitro, I think. The Shattered Dream. Mersey Beers, Adam. Evening. Is
Adam.
Champion the original and Headspace is the whiskey age version?
Okay.
I think it is, yeah, but isn't it the Champion's an higher ABV than the actual Headspace, which is odd because it's whiskey. You know, you'd like to think that the Headspace would be a higher ABV, but it ain't. It never makes any sense to me, that.
No.
Twisted Dreams. And then he says he's drinking Full Circle's Looper, their flagship IPA.
I've seen that. I've meant to pull the trigger on that beer a few times now on some beer orders. But I couldn't tell you the reason why I've not. It's just one of those things. It's a weird thing buying beer sometimes.
He put Skelmersdale, the land of roundabouts, drug trafficking, and plastic scousers. Love you, Peter.
Yeah, he summed it up perfectly.
Mersey, you're right about McEwen's. Do you still do exploitation film reviews? Love them. Your review of Malibim filmed
Do you
deviant
know
film.
that channel could have been so much bigger, but when all of this thing kicked off about advertisers on YouTube not wanting to associate with certain content, and then YouTube taking a big hit from it just all of a sudden my channel just, if it was a bigger channel, it would be notable sort of news within the community, but it was just all of a sudden, day by day, I'd be getting emails saying this video's been age restricted, this video's been age restricted. Even though I never ever, I didn't even sort of push the line of what you can and can't show. It was all just sort of descriptions, but it was just to the point where it could have been a good monetized YouTube channel if I'd have gone down the route of doing Marvel films all the time and stuff like that. There's probably a good chance it'd be a big channel, but it's just I've got no interest in that sort of stuff, and it just got to the point where I was getting these age restrictions on videos, and then people putting false copyright claims on it, and it was just it even got to the point where we've had to remove the thumbnail of your video.
Yeah, too much of an headache then for you, basically.
Yeah, it's just no point. And the channel partner program that I was part of just sort of cut ties with me, because it was this isn't profitable for us because all the revenue is just going straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
So even the free sort of music that I could use, which was really good, interesting music, it was just everything just completely. It just wouldn't make any sense. But I'd love to get back into doing stuff like that, and I'm trying to think of ways.
You're quite passionate about all that sort of stuff, though, weren't you? You know, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame to sort of forget about it completely and not use some sort of platform to put it out there.
So I'm still trying to figure out a way that I can have these two things come together without it getting to the point where people are I don't want to watch this channel anymore because I was just there for beer reviews. So I want to sort of try and find a good balance of every now and then there's a film related thing, but beer's involved with it. So it could just be a live stream where I've got a couple of people on talking about a specific film, but then again, people are doing that anyway. So, but it would be good to sort of get that sort of stuff back.
And I know you've said before in the past about you've got a little bit of a love for coffee as well, which I have. Trying different coffee and buying a bag of coffee beans that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, so
it's the same trap as beer, isn't it? With something new and different.
Yeah,
so I like coffee.
I want to try and do a bit more on the channel where it goes in just in one direction, but it's just every now and then you'll get this sort of video. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. If you just want to watch for the beer stuff, then I'd never take offense at all if someone's well, I don't really want to watch. I'm not subscribed to you for this. But it would be good. I mean, I used to do the Saturday night slice videos with pizzas. It's just I've not really had any really interesting pizzas to cover to do that. And the Chris Butty.
The Chris Butty. You can't beat a Chris Butty.
No, God. I've had such an appreciation for Chris Butty since I started doing those videos initially. But it'd just be nice to do something a little bit different every now and then.
I did toy with the idea a long while ago of maybe incorporating coffee reviews, but it's time. It's time. I know. I don't go on for too long on my beer reviews and stuff, but it's just committing to something like doing, I don't know, doing a coffee review in the morning and then beer review in the afternoon. I don't want to be pinned down to anything like that. So
yeah.
I just sacked it off. I thought, nah, just keep it for beer. Sod it.
Well, it's putting you in good stead because you do got a nice amount of subscribers and you've got a good sort of like regular viewership.
Yeah, I've got
so,
a few people that watch and leave comments, a few like regulars, you know, that stop by and say hello and, you know, give me the thumbs up and stuff like that. But yeah, it's something I've never really. I don't sell myself. I'm not someone like that, you know. I don't, you know, hit the like button and bloody all that rubbish.
yeah.
Like, subscribe, you know. You watching a video, if you like what you see, you know what to do. I don't need to tell you to do that.
Yeah. And I don't think my numbers would increase even if I made a point of saying that anyway.
No, I think people were going to do it or they're not going to do it at the end of the day. I've never really sort of gone. Yeah, I know I'm monetized. I get a few quid and I put it back into the channel and buy beers every now and again. I'm never going to bloody be able to make a living from it, but I don't want to do that. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing out of YouTube. So I wouldn't want it to change in that way, but to get a little bit back, yeah, it gets a few beers. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good fun. Ian says, I live in Skelmersdale and I agree with roundabouts and drug trafficking. Where's that come from?
Yeah,
Clay Brow. Clay Brow is a good nano brewery from Skem.
Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. Really close to where I actually live as well. And I only found out about them. Of course, Ian from Claybrow. No, hang on a minute. What am I talking about? It's not Ian from Claybrow. But yeah, very, very local to me. And I only found out about them through Adam. Really. I mean, I had a beer a few years ago at Wigan Central, and that was the Milk Stout. And that was awesome. And then I was like, Claybrow. I'm sure that's a place in Skem near me. I was like, fucking hell, there's a nano brewery in Skelmersdale. But yeah, it's good stuff. Really good stuff.
Beer and Building says, yes, I know Skelmersdale. I only know it through that gentleman there.
Yeah. There's a really interesting promotional video for Skelmersdale from like the 60s or 70s, selling it as a new town.
Yeah. And
you watch that and think, that could really end up being really nice. And I mean, there's worse places than Skem, but fucking hell.
No, there's a damn quite worse places, mate.
Yeah.
I've never been to Skelmersdale, but I'm sure there's worse places out there.
Yeah. It does get a bad rap because the sort of like local council they just don't really seem to give a shit about.
I think it's like most councils, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah.
Again,
if it's not affluent, they tend to they just don't really give a crap. They'd rather put the money elsewhere for like aesthetic touches in the nicer parts.
Anybody that's high up in a county council, they're in the same sort of bubble as a politician. They're in their own bloody world. I mean, the council around my area, they want bloody stringing up. But they authorised a load of roadworks to take place across the town. And bear in mind, where I live, it was a little market town, so it's nothing massive. And they've just given the green light for all these roadworks all in one hit, and it's just absolutely choked the town because people are starting to go out a little bit more now. So the traffic's picking up, and it's just caused gridlock. For him to say, I mean, they should have done this bloody months ago.
Yeah.
When people weren't going out and the roads were dead, but no, let's just all do it in one hit and cause fucking chaos. They do. They want bloody shooting.
Yeah. It's all about
you bugger's still going, Barry says. Yeah, we're catching up.
Of course.
I'm expecting for ages.
It's been
Reminiscing, mate,
time.
aren't we? Reminiscing.
Definitely. Tempted to open another beer, but I feel guilty because Adam sent me it, and I don't know if he wants me to review it or not. But I think I will, because I think he sent me them to enjoy.
No, why not?
And it's still a little bit cold because it was in my bin cupboard for most of the day. So I'm going to have the Hessen from Full Circle Brew Co. We were just talking about them. I don't know why I had to reread the label. And this is a Vienna lager at 5%.
Ooh.
And really nice artwork on that. So I think I'll have this. And I've just got the message that I've got 20% of my battery left on my phone. That's the thing about doing a StreamYard on your phone. It sucks your battery up.
Plugged in at the moment.
See, I would, but I think the feedback on my end would be too much.
Oh, okay.
So that I don't want to sort of like make it sound like you're stood in an echo chamber when you hear me talk.
Fair enough. Thomas says you're both on my list for a live interview.
Well, I'm happy to join, Thomas. It would be an absolute pleasure.
2.5 hours get in, yeah, but it's not a patch on Harry's Sunday session.
No, God no.
He's got to beat 10 hours now, hasn't he? That's the thing now. He's got to do 11.
I tell you what, I don't know why I drink on Sundays, because I just get smashed and then I fall asleep. Good thing is, I don't have an hangover in the morning because I've slept through it. So I could go to work fresh as a daisy.
I tend to get a little bit battered on a Sunday, I must admit.
Yeah,
that's why
afternoon drinking.
Yeah, I like slow cooking the meat, see, because I know I can get battered and not worry about fucking burning the meat, because I know it's slow cooking on a low heat.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Braggy says 2.5 hours get in. Yeah, get in.
Definitely.
Time for a sneaky beer review. Fill your boots, Raggy. Fill your boots.
Go on, Raggy.
Dave says hello to Raggy. Raggy McEwen's Whiskey Edition was renamed Headspace.
I don't know why they just didn't keep it as the McEwen's Whiskey Edition. I don't really understand that name.
Well, it's like I mean, what is there to understand about the rebrand of Witchwood?
Yeah.
I mean, that is an absolute mess, isn't it? What they've done.
It just looks like they've took that Ringwood sort of branding and just applied it.
They don't give a toss about. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not. I know Witchwood have got a loyal, dedicated following of people through Hobgoblin, and fair play. I'll have a bottle of that every now and again. It is what it is.
I've not had that for a while and really want to pick up a bottle of it. And thanks to Raggy, watching some of his older videos, I want to get a bottle of King Goblin as well, because I can't remember that beer at all.
He's a big champion of both of them beers, isn't he? He's got a lot of time for both of them beers. But what they've done to the branding, I mean, they just ruined it.
Yeah, definitely. What I'll say about Hobgoblin is, I've never took a sip of Hobgoblin and thought, oh, this is fucking awful. It's always been, to me, just a solid, easy drinking, simple ruby ale. I don't know what it tasted like before the Marstons takeover, so I've got no sort of point of reference. But yeah, and the fact that you can get like 4 cans of it quite cheap in Aldi as well, and it's like,
I think you can get it in. I think Iceland sell it for about £1 a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, what
you just a go-to ale.
Yeah,
that's your one, I guess. Adam says in Raw Sean came from a friend from school's dad, who was a detective inspector of Ormskirk, who stated that Scansdale stores a hell of a lot more drugs that it sells, like dodgy lockups.
That would not surprise me.
Neil Smith says beer and film night.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to, but it's just trying to find the format to do it.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. Would you have to do that on a live stream then, or would you just do a long video?
I'm not too sure, because you could always do that sort of like drink along video where you're sort of like watching the film. Obviously, you're not letting people hear it or see it because of copyright, and then a few people talking about it. But it'd be the sort of like logistics of, because I think you'd have to sort of like prepare those in advance so people who were interested could watch. But I mean, I was even thinking of doing like a podcast somehow, but I like the video format. I don't just want like an audio thing. I love the idea of just have like interaction and people chiming in and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Match the beer with a specific exploration film. Use the description of the beer instead of the filth. Nudge, nudge.
There you go. I'm getting some really good ideas here. So
there you go, mate. It's all lining up for you. Who are the nicest people on YouTube? Dean and Peter. Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Really appreciated, and right back at you.
Yeah, there are some good people on here. I must admit, I don't tend to get involved too much with the mishaps that happen, because there are mishaps. But there are some good folk about. There really is. Trying to be positive, ain't you? Not negative.
Exactly.
Doom and gloom, all that.
Yeah, you've got so much negativity going on in your day-to-day life sometimes. So what's the point in?
Yeah. It just drags you down, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I'm all for fun and games, but sometimes it just gets a bit too much when you. Because I've been involved in some sort of stuff, but it's just like I don't.
Yeah.
I've really got no ill will.
No, I don't. I've got no beef with anyone, if I'm completely honest. People that I get fucking annoyed with, but that's like out there in the world anyway. You get fed up with people. But I mean, with this whole sort of like concept of having a beer, I mean, the whole thing of a beer is to join people together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the social lubricant.
That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. Ian says, Peter, being from Skem, as me, have you had many of the Clay Brown Nano Brewery beers? They do some good stuff.
I've had a few, and pretty much all of them kindly gifted to me from Adam, even though I could just take a 5-minute walk and potentially get some fresh stuff. Even take like an empty milk carton and have it filled up.
Fill it up.
Yeah.
Take a fucking jerry can with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got me a Cloudwater growler. Could always just take that up. But yeah, the really good stuff, and it's good to see that his beers are getting out there a bit more. I mean, still more in the localized way, but there's nothing from what I've had that wouldn't have a place on like a national sort of web shop or a platform. I think it's really, really good stuff that Neil does. But I think Adam would be the best person to ask about that. Mersey beers.
Okay.
because he's a really good champion of sort of local and Merseyside sort of beers, even
Yeah.
though we would fall under a Wigan postcode WN, but yeah, there's some really good stuff locally that I've never really noticed before.
Mm. Then he says, I wish Neil at Clawbrow could distribute out further. For me, it is difficult to get tin in glass. Yeah,
Yeah,
tin in
and
glass is a
it is
good
a
bottle
shame
shop.
because I think some of the beers I've had, I think a lot of people would really enjoy. So hopefully, when restrictions are lifted and he's able to get his beers to a few more bars, and then all he needs that one person who's like maybe involved in the industry as well, who goes, hang on a minute, we could just potentially buy some beer. I don't know what sort of like volumes he produces because it's still on a sort of really small scale, but he's done some really interesting like barrel aged high ABV imperial stouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd like to think that the bigger breweries though would put their hand out and sort of like piggyback them a little bit with distribution and reach,
Yeah, or like sort of like contract brew a recipe of his.
just to get it out there and get the
Yeah,
name sort of moving a little bit more across all of the UK.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a shame, really.
yeah, because I could see him. I could see his beers being on like web shops like First Class Ales web shop because they do their own beers, but also stock a lot of other breweries. Like a lot of breweries web shops do now, they stock different breweries beers. And I don't know if you've had much from Rivington. I think I sent you one bottle from Rivington.
Oh, Rivington.
I,
The name rings a bell. Yeah,
it
they've got
was a
like
few
a.
years ago.
Is there a T on the design?
Yeah, it's sort of like a T, but it's like to me it's shaped like a sort of like a cow's head or a bull's head.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a few of their beers
Yeah,
knocking about
yeah,
on online.
yeah. They do good stuff, and again, they stock other people's beers as well. So I could definitely see him,
Doing it.
yeah, having.
Oh, he's lost his sound.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, you're back, mate. You're back.
Yeah, someone tried to call me, and
Okay.
it fucks it up. I don't know. So I think just like turn your microphone back on and off again should fix it.
Then Adam says that the council are going to have to eventually fix the roads in Scansdale, as otherwise they are going to start getting claims. Nearly lost a wheel today by my bargain booze.
Yeah, the roads are really quite neglected. Even the pathways. It's just, I mean, I think a lot of people can say this about their own
Yeah.
sort of local councils, but it's a shame because there's really good people in Scansdale, like most small towns around the country, but and we're surrounded by beautiful greenery. You're not too far away from just being surrounded by beautiful, picturesque fields and parks and stuff. But it's just such a shame to see just how neglected it is.
It is a shame for
Yeah,
the whole of the country, really, for that
yeah.
matter. I don't know what the reason is behind it. It's sad, really, isn't it? It's sad. I
Yeah,
don't think people give a toss anymore, though, do they, about anything?
no, no, not
I
really.
mean, I drive for a living, so I go here, there, and everywhere. I cover a lot of miles. I see a lot of roads, and the amount of litter on the side of roads, it's
Oh God,
unbelievable.
yeah,
Fucking everywhere, just litter everywhere. People just don't get it, mate. I don't get it.
no. I mean, where we are now, locally, we've got a river that runs through a lot of Scam called the River Tord, and there's been a lot of sort of like waste being pumped into the water supply, where it's like the water's like all foaming up, and this is supposed to be like natural sort of river, but they're like, from what I've been reading on local like Facebook groups, the like environmental agency knows the like companies that are doing this, but nothing's been done about it.
Nothing's been done. Yeah, if it was a normal geezer doing it, they'd be like come down on like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you've even so much as like fly tipped,
that's it. Yeah, on you.
Yeah,
bloody wrong. I'm waiting for the day where Harry gets cut off at the 12-hour YouTube limit. I don't know. Is there an actual limit?
I don't know. I think he's going to have to put it to the test on.
Yeah,
on
go
Sunday.
for it. There's your goal. Set the goal. Yeah.
Start at 2 in the afternoon and go till 2 in the evening. 2 in the morning the next day.
I agree with you, Mersey Beers. The roads are awful. Too many wagons going through the roads aren't made for it. Yeah, there is that situation as well. I mean, I drive a lorry as well, and where you've got these diversions and stuff, and you're thinking, how the hell am I going to get down that road?
Yeah.
It's like a bloody residential street, double parked, and you're taking a bloody 18-ton lorry down there. And you've got to be so careful because you can just about get down there.
Yeah.
But that's obviously putting pressure on the tarmac because them sort of vehicles aren't really meant to be going down there. But it happens, road closures and all that crap. Hobgoblin was a good beer before Marston's got hold of it. YouTube isn't real life enough problem. Yeah, there's people have got problems in life, mate, and this is a lose yourself for however many hours you want to talk or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
Forget about real. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, and just talk to good people like yourself, and just catch up. And I don't know, it's just a nice distraction from the world we live in at the moment.
Good old King Goblin, he says, beer and buildings, and then Tom says in life, yeah, indeed. The only time I've had something bad today from Hobgoblin was in a pub where it wasn't in the best condition, but that's on a pub and not the brewery.
Yeah, I don't think Wychwood are fundamentally a bad brewery. I don't think I've ever really had a Wychwood beer where I've just like Hobgoblin, where I thought that's just awful beer. There are some beers that I've enjoyed more than others. I know a lot of people like Black Witch, but I've never been a fan of Black Witch. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, oh, it's a shit beer because Marston's took over. It's not sort of my sort of beer.
It's a porter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's been a while since I've had it, so I'll probably drink it now, and I've probably got maybe a little bit more appreciation for it. But I still quite. I've got a soft spot for Wychwood.
Yeah. I mean, how you've got to look at it as well with these little breweries being bought out by the big boys is they must have been doing something right.
Yeah.
For the big guys to take notice and say, hang on a minute, I'm going to get my checkbook here. I think, I want a piece of this. And it's the same with Magic Rock, isn't it?
Exactly.
And Beavertown for that matter. Because not every brewery is going to get bought out by the big boys because they might not think they're up to the cut enough. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. And at the end of the day, I'm guessing the guy at the time that was running Wychwood had the choice. It was yay or nay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the rest is history.
Yeah. Unless you've got money already, I don't see why any sort of person would go, do you know what? No, you can keep your money. You can keep your cash injection.
Yeah. You've got to be a brave man, haven't you, to say bollocks to them, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
When
Definitely.
they don't, they write a number on their checkbook and say, we want to give you that. Who wants to be a millionaire? We want to give you that.
Yeah.
You've got to be a brave man to resist that, haven't you? Because I'm
Definitely.
guessing there's quite a few noughts on that check.
Oh yeah.
You've got to have some balls about you to say, nah, not interested. I don't know if it's greed. Greed plays a big part into it. I don't know, but you've got to be pretty brave, haven't you, to say no.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, what if you put another 0 here?
Yeah, put another 0 on the end. Now think about it.
It's still a no from me. I don't think I could ever be in that situation where I'd turn that down. If I've built something up from the ground up, and someone comes along and offers money for what I've done, and still gives me the option to be involved and to do what I want to do, albeit with some sort of like
restrictions
or decisions that have been made, but I'd still be involved with it. I mean, you can always, like, a few months in and say, well, this isn't what I want this to be. Just buy it off me. I can start again. Or I can, but mind you, I think a lot of these contracts will be, well, as long as we're sort of like, we've given you this cash injection, you can't do anything else. I could imagine there's some of these like clauses that you can't start your own.
Yeah, you'd have to religiously go over the small print when you're in the contract to find out what the yays and nays are in it all, because there'll be certain bits in there that would ruffle your feathers up a little bit, and you think, I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be other things where you'll be going, yeah, I'm quite happy for that to go ahead. James Moore, echoing what Thomas said tonight, it has been a real feel good watch with you two top guys. So thank you very much,
thank you very
James.
much. Very much appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed it.
And then Adam says, funny enough, Clay Brow, although currently the only brewery in Scansdale has the not first, there was a brewery called Navigation Steam Brew Co. Brewed beers for hotels, they don't exist now.
I'm just trying something. Am I echoing it on your end?
No, mate, you're all good.
Oh, so that's okay, because I'm actually
you're fine, mate.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
just so I can keep my phone charged. But yeah, I missed that about Scam's first brewery.
Navigation Steam Brew Co.
Navigation Steam Brew Co.
Used to make beers for hotels, but they're not in operation anymore.
Now you've mentioned that they did beers for hotels. There's a hotel quite close to, Adam will know this, I think, next to Pimbo, which is like the big industrial estate in Scam. Oh my God, what's it called?
I'll leave you with that thought, mate. I'm just going to go and have a Jimmy Riddle and grab another beer.
Yeah, no probs. And I'm sure, what's that hotel called? I should know because the CEO of my workplace stays there. Because of course he's not from the local area and he's heavily involved in a Skelmersdale business. And I can't see the chat at the moment, so Adam may be correcting me already. Best Western, is it? I don't think it's is it Best Western? Yeah, I'm sure I may have seen that brewery's beer in the Best Western in Pimbo, but I couldn't be sure because Adam obviously knows a lot more about Skelmersdale, a place where I've lived for pretty much 32 years. I can still get lost in Skemney, especially with some of the estates. I mean, I got lost on my first day at work when I went for my interview at work, and that's really bad. But yeah, I think I remember that name, Adam. Now you mention it. Can I actually get onto the comments? Because I don't want to kick myself out of the stream. Let me just have a quick look. Where's that gone? I can't even find the stream to look at the comments.
What's that, mate? What we up to?
I was looking because when Adam mentioned that steam brewery, it got me thinking about a local hotel where our workplace sometimes has their Christmas meal, and I'm sure I may have seen that brewery, but then again, it could be well before I was aware of it, to be honest. But I tell you what, it doesn't half come up with the history, does Adam? Belgian IPA.
Yeah. Another the proof one. Well, might as well use it up. So Ian says about Rivington do a good coffee stout. Like to go to their tap room when we are allowed.
Yeah, the Rivington tap room is awesome because it's like on it's got like a camping site connected to it, so you can stay overnight, get pissed, and get up the next day. And I think it's in a really picturesque part of the country, but it's a pain in the arse to get there, from what I've heard. But it is lovely, and that coffee stout, I think they did like a mix pack on their website where you could get the coffee stout and then the actual coffee beans that were used for it, and I missed out on that because I love it when breweries do stuff like that. It's the one of my pet peeves when you get like coffee beers is when the brewery doesn't make any mention
of the coffee roasters,
of the coffee or where they've got the coffee from.
Yeah, it's pretty crucial, isn't it? If you're collabing up almost with a local roaster, then you've got to give them a shout.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going back to Magic Rock, they still put the coffee roaster on the can, and they've been doing that beer for God knows how long.
Yeah, a few do, but yeah, like you say, there are some that just don't even mention it, which is a shame, I guess. Adam says to Ian, that beer was banging. Also want to go get their collaboration with Cloudwater next in the fridge, West Coast double IPA. And then Raggy says, 3 hours, lads, doing well. Well, I'm enjoying it, mate. That's why, it's good fun to catch up with an old mate.
That's what it's all about.
Get a bit of interaction going.
This.
It's good fun, mate. It's good fun.
It is indeed. Well, I've got a load of empties.
Yeah, they're building up a little bit around my bar now, I must admit.
Yeah. I tell you what, I had that the other night, Dean. Arbor's My Little Sabroni.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's good.
They're quality on the Arbor.
Yeah. Again, another brewery that doesn't get the recognition.
Exactly.
That they deserve.
I did one of their beers the other day, and I said about having that 568 ml can is a piece of branding in itself, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You go into a bottle shop and you can just see it. It's going to tower over anything else. So straight away, it's got your attention, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's clever. It's clever.
It's clever, and it makes you think why there's nothing stopping other breweries from doing stuff like that, and they can just be like with their sort of like lower ABV beers, put them into bigger cans.
You could whack them in, yeah. Do Magic Rock still do 500ml cans?
I'm not too sure. I've not really seen many new beers from Magic Rock.
No.
There's like the odd release every couple of months. I mean, there's probably a few that I've just not seen, and because of Magic Rock, many people don't really post about them. But
I think
yeah, you don't really see too many new releases from either them or Beavertown.
No.
I've not heard from Beavertown for ages. I still see the beers, but I don't see.
No, they seem to be just focused on knocking the core range out, don't they, to all the supermarkets now?
Yeah.
I've noticed it's trickled into Tesco's now, hasn't it, Gambray?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the shelves in Tesco's now. I think the last Magic Rock beer I had was probably at Christmas, and it was a bearded lady stout.
Oh yeah.
That's the last one I had from them. Other than that, I probably have to go back to the previous summer when it was one of their IPAs that they brought out. Other than that, yeah, I don't see a great deal.
No. And it's sad that sort of kickback, or the blowback that Magic Rock get, because they were like one of the first sort of like UK breweries to have this sort of American model of what a tap room should be. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous tap room that they have. Their premises is just beautiful, in like smack bang in the middle of Huddersfield, which is gorgeous in itself. And yeah, they're just up there with one of the best tap rooms that I've ever been to. Like them, Days tap rooms, awesome. Cloudwater's Unit 9, that's a nice space. But yeah, it's just a shame that a lot of people have turned their back on Magic Rock, and I still think they brew their beers what I remember them being 3 or 4 years ago. I don't drink their beers regularly, but you know, when I get the opportunity to pick up some common grounds, I enjoy it just as much as I did the first time. And I think it's just they sort of like nailed the sort of like core range without just being like one or two, like 2 or 3 different beers. I mean, they had a Goza as a core range beer. They've got a coffee porter as a core range beer.
Shebang.
Yeah, it's not just like a lager, pale IPA, session IPA, which they do have. They've just got, they cover a wide range.
At some point, they probably had one of the best core range offerings going. Yeah. And then they obviously got all the other releases like the Cannonball beers and all that. Yeah. No, I'm one for sort of. I'm not in for that. You know, oh, they've been bought out. That's it now. It's game over. I'm not going to bother with them. I'm not one of them sort of guys anyway. So I probably don't drink enough Magic Rock beers. But it's a case of just I don't really see them around that much anymore.
It's not like I'm lining their pockets that much.
Yeah. That's all irrelevant, though, isn't it? All that.
Yeah. So if people want to ever play that card, it's like, well, I spend much more elsewhere than I do these like 5 breweries who you should never buy from. They sort of like get pennies on the pound compared to what I spend on some breweries' beers. But at the same time, who cares? You like what you like. You buy who you buy from. If you're dependent on the supermarkets for your craft beer, don't blame you, because you've got such a range in different supermarkets nowadays. Even like Home and Bargains could have some really nice surprises. And
yeah, they get a few hidden gems, don't they? Occasionally, they get beers pop in there, and you're like, well, 59p.
Yeah, it's like, where else can I get a 6-pack of Lagunitas IPA for like a pound, like less than a pound a bottle. Is it fresh? No, but is it less than a pound a bottle and still
Game
tastes
on,
good?
Game on. Adam says, Lancashire Manor, I'm at the wedding there in August.
Oh, Lancashire Manor.
Use the best Western. Don't think it is anymore. I use the best Western. Okay, yeah. My dad did work in SCEM for almost the entirety of my life. And then Dan Jones. I've enjoyed tonight. You two both have such a wealth of knowledge. Cheers.
Oh, thank you. I
Thank you
would
very much, Dan.
I would disagree about my wealth of knowledge, but I'm glad you appreciate that.
Hey?
I would very much disagree with my wealth of knowledge.
Well, you just go with the flow, don't you? It's just bits you pick
Exactly.
up. You just looking at information online and stuff like that, isn't it? You just
you
it
just
either
sort of like
sticks or it
absorb it
doesn't.
like a beery sponge.
I might still be able to get my hands on that beer for you, Peter. Mersey, Dean saying bigger is better. You'll have to refresh my mind on that one, mate. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, Dickie's beer reviews, Dean's beers from Las Vegas, USA. Hello, Dickie. How you doing?
Dickie. Or afternoon. I keep saying evening to our American viewers.
Had the latest release, Magic 8 Ball last month from Magic Rock. The argument that shuts down every person who criticises buying from Magic Rock is, have you purchased anything from Nestle recently? There you go.
There you go. Bitch slap.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you buy your car? Like, who'd you buy? Like, what makes your car?
It doesn't stop though, does it?
No.
Bloody loaf of fucking bread, Ovis, Warburtons.
Yeah.
They're not bloody macro, are they?
No. I mean, Warburton's Toasty, we know, makes the best crisp butty, but it's not like it's artisanal bread.
Yeah. Yeah, it just keeps going and going, doesn't it? You could say soft drinks, milk.
Yeah.
Anything, any sort of product.
Yeah. It's like, who made that?
There's a mass produced side and there's a small man side.
Exactly. It's like, who made the phone that you're writing these comments with?
Yeah.
And we all know the working conditions of, especially the people who have to make the iPhones, where they've got safety nets so people don't throw themselves off the top balcony. It's just
shocking, isn't it? It's shocking.
Yeah. We all know that a lot of our products are made by people who are being exploited, and so I don't know why beer should become this like sort of shining example of people taking moral high ground, because the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the laptop, the computer game console, everything someone's getting.
Yeah, someone's getting shafted over it.
Yeah.
For somebody else to prosper from it. I watched a video a couple of weeks back. It just come up. It was a random thing that popped up, and it was a live feed, and it was the president of Ghana.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing a press conference, and he had the Swiss president or prime minister sitting next to him. And she got up first and said a few nice, like, sort of words, saying, "Oh, Switzerland and Ghana have got years and years of trading heritage together, and we're a good sort of partnership and all that jazz." And then it was his turn to get up, and he got up and he said, "Yeah, blah blah blah, Switzerland. Yeah, we've had lots of trade deals over the years with them. We've had our cocoa beans for X amount of years." But he said, "It's all stopping now. We're going to make our own chocolate. I'm going to invest money back into Ghana to build the infrastructure to make our own chocolate." And her face, because it was all live, her fucking face just dropped. She was like, it it was weird. But he had the balls to sort of say, yeah, no, we're not going to be sort of like the third party in this where you have our products.
Yeah.
We've got the resources. We've got the raw resources in our country. Let's make our own chocolate and sell it. And fair play to them.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I've never really sort of like fallen into the trap of going along with that narrative of once big business comes into play, because I don't know, it's just if it gets to the point where I can see a dip in quality, I just won't buy from them. I'm not gonna sort of like slay them, because what's the point?
No, it doesn't get you anywhere, really, does it?
Plus, at the end of the day, there are people who are still depending on that employment. So if people just turn around and say, "Oh, let's boycott," I mean, the idea of boycotting a brewery over something like a buyout, it's just, what's the point? You're just taking the beers you've enjoyed up until that point. You've been supporting like the workforce, not just the people who own the brewery, who probably a lot of the time might have their own money anyway, and have used that money to start up the business. Not that all businesses have been started up with a big cash injection anyway, but you know, it's a lot of people's livelihoods are going to be at stake just because you want to try and stop people buying the. I mean, you look at the stuff with like Founders and some of those breweries where there were these sort of like claims of racism and things like that. See, that to me is a genuine problem, and
that should be stamped out immediately. There's no ifs or buts about that. Yeah.
But when someone has a successful product and a bigger corporation sees that, yeah, they're probably just thinking, oh, we can make money off this. We don't give a shit about investing in the company itself. What can we get out of it?
Yeah.
But at the same time, as long as they're still keeping people employed and that sort of thing, I think you should be quite supportive of that. But it's sort of like the sort of stuff that happens behind the scenes, and when you hear these stories of like wrongdoings within a business and people getting persecuted and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm going to say that that's absolutely awful, and that needs to be dealt with, and that needs to be stamped out, and you need to grow from that. Because look at Founders. I mean, yeah, there's been some absolutely horrific things from that. As long as they get that sorted, then they'll. I mean, I don't buy Founders much at all, but Backwards Bastard, probably one of the best Scotch ales I've ever had in my life. Breakfast Stout's a really good stout. I don't buy it regularly, so I'm not really supporting that brewery, but it wouldn't stop me from every now and then picking up, oh, there's a KBS at a good price. Yeah, I'll revisit that. Me buying one bottle of KBS isn't really helping this company that much because they've already made the money anyway. I'm helping the retailer who's actually selling that product.
Yeah, you're getting it off their shelf.
It's a weird sort of situation to be in, and I can see the argument from both sides. But at the end of the day, if there's a product I enjoy, I'm still going to buy it until there's something really awful about that company where I think, well, I don't really want anything to do with that. But I don't know, it's weird. The people take the moral high ground over the tiniest little things when there's genuinely
I think it's any excuse to just sort of jump on the bandwagon with certain things, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not all things, but I think a lot of people just hijack something, don't they, for the sake of making a noise about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just quickly going to nip the toilet, get another beer, and I'll be right back.
I had the latest. Yeah, we've done that one. Alba do a fantastic job with. Have I read that one? Yeah, no. Arbor do a fantastic beers in big cans, which is a bonus. I had one tonight called this time next year, Rodney, a caramel and chocolate shortbread stout. That sounds pretty good. What was the ABV on that, Ian? Wayne saying hello to Dickie. The food you eat, Thomas. I meant regarding Nestle. Oh yeah. Okay. Bring up Magic Rock's parent company connections to genocide in Burma. Can't remember the country's new name. Myanmar, isn't it? Is it Myanmar? Myanmar? Something like that. Home and bargains at the moment. Castle's Milk Stout, 99p a bottle. Unless you live in Carlisle, is when you out of luck with Greg from Bullman's Beer Reviews. Got it all. he seems to have his luck, doesn't he, with getting all the beers. There's in the branching scam. Oh bloody hell, we're up to date. Yeah, we're on top of it all now, thank God. Whew. I had this, I think said earlier on when I think I had Raggy on here when I did a live with Raggy, and I got battered with the comments. And obviously, when you're first doing a live review with somebody that you haven't done anything with before, I don't want to be too focused on my laptop and ignoring my guests. And it's a very fine balance of getting it right and keeping everyone happy in the comments, and then obviously interacting with your guest. So you try and sort of get the best of both worlds out of it. It's quite hard as well, especially when the comments are coming in. But we're all up to date,
definitely.
Peter. We're all up to date, mate.
Oh, nice. There's definitely an art form to keeping the balance of comments and content. But I think you've done an absolutely wonderful job of it tonight, Dean.
Yeah, no, it's been good fun, mate.
I thought I'd end the evening on a fitting, very special beer indeed.
Going out with a bang on that one, mate.
Definitely. See, even this beer's getting a bit more easy to get hold of, which is good. Because there was a long time where it was one of those, it appeared on Beers of Europe and then just got swept up or scooped up really quickly.
I must admit, Beers of Europe do my head in, because you go onto their website and everything's out of stock.
Yeah. It's like, don't list it if it's out of stock.
Yeah, just fucking get rid of it if it's not available. Yeah. It's teased though, isn't it? Because you're scrolling down, and then you click on it, out of stock. Next, out of stock. Everything's out of stock.
Yeah.
It's just bloody annoying.
Something so satisfying about Doppelbox. I mean, I think we've talked about Doppelbox on every stream we've done, but I can't stress enough how
that was you that got me into Doppelbox.
To me, it's one of the purest forms of beer.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a beautiful drinking experience, a Doppelbock. Yeah, that's definitely up there for me. For one of the best styles. It's bloody lovely. It is absolutely lovely.
Yeah. Did you ever? I can't remember if I've potentially ever sent you a bottle of it, but have you ever tried the Weltenberger Kloster?
A Zambok, yeah. I've got a review of that out somewhere. That's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, just in the bottles. That's beautiful.
Liquid nectar, mate. That is.
But I tell you what, some of my best drinking experiences. I've never really been to like a really major festival or like the tap room to go to. It's just some of my best drinking experiences have just been like a casual afternoon in Germany at a local beer garden. And going to the abbey where Weltenberg Kloster's brewed, and having it fresh in the sort of like ceramic steins.
Oh,
It's just. I mean,
yes.
for all you know, they could just be pouring the bottles into.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though, does
You,
it? It doesn't
you
matter.
wouldn't care.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a place! What a place! I suppose that's a bucket list place, isn't it? To go to a festival over in Germany.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as you start allowing people to start travelling as well. I mean, me and the missus, we had a few plans booked to go, like, weekend breaks, city breaks, and stuff like that. But because it all got shut down and everything, but when it finally comes around that we can do it again safely, we've got a few places teed up to go and visit, and I think Germany is going to be one of them, definitely.
Yeah.
Just got to do it. Bucket list.
I think that's one of those things where it doesn't really matter which place in Germany you go to.
Just to go over there.
Yeah, just anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Bavaria. It could be in the north, the west. It could be like in Berlin, in the centre of like this metropolitan sort of place. You're just guaranteed to just have good.
Just soak up the experience, isn't it? That's what it's all about. I mean, yeah, I'm curious about trying the beers and stuff, but just to absorb the culture and the scenery. I'm a bit of a sucker for all that. I know when we went to Prague a few years back, I mean that was just magnificent. Quality beer, cheap as chips, and the scenery, the old buildings and stuff, the food, the hospitality. It was a lovely city, absolutely lovely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you think, and I always get this when I go to places that like wow me. It's like someone actually lives here. This is like their day-to-day existence, and we're like all blown away by it.
And they're just like, it's the norm, isn't it, to them?
Yeah. Oh, I've had a boring day today. It's like, I've had a boring day surrounded by this.
Yeah. I can remember the very first time though I went to London, and that was the same. Now that was like jaw dropping to actually see Big Ben, Tower Bridge, and all that. Buckingham Palace. It was like wow. And now because I go there quite frequently with work, it's like it's a pain in the arse getting around here now. Whoopie doo, the houses are part. You know what I mean? It's just whatever. So now
there's Big Ben again.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing Big Ben this week.
Yeah.
But it was like that last time me, you, and Harry met up, and just I don't know. It was like just all I was doing was getting the train to London, and then getting another train to go to Harry. But just getting off in London and just having a walk around and.
Yeah, I suppose it's different on foot, isn't it? I think if you're behind a steering wheel, then it's a pain in the arse.
Yeah. But I don't know.
To walk about, a bit more freedom.
I love the journey there. It's just the journey back because 9 times out of 10 I've been hungover because we've decided to drink the night before after our meetups. That's the only time when it's a pain in the arse. But I don't know. I've always loved the traveling to different places. Even like
nice places to see.
Oh.
No, you're still there, mate. You're still there.
All right, you completely left the stream on my screen then for a second.
Oh,
I probably left your stream.
No, we're still rocking and rolling.
But it's like even when I was going back and forth to Germany, it's like it's a pain in the arse having to drive to the airport and then you've got to wait in the airport and then you've got to sit on the plane. But I was just like, this is awesome. I'm just traveling. I'm going somewhere. I mean, I've got to wait around in the airport for an hour, but I can just look around and.
Yeah, I always used to. When we used to go on our family holidays, we always used to go to Tenerife. We used to make that like a yearly thing. We'd have at least 10 days or a fortnight in Tenerife. And I always used to think as soon as we got to the airport, that's when when the holiday started.
Yeah.
The wife didn't think that, and the kids didn't. But I don't know. There's something about an airport where you go through the procedures of doing everything, and then you can go up to the lounge and have a beer or have something to eat and wait for your flight. And that was when the holiday started for me.
Yeah.
You know, not when you got there to the hotel and you could go out near the pool and lie down and have a beer. And it was actually at the airport. Something about it. It was great.
But yeah, I love stuff like it. It was like when the first time I actually travelled on my own to get to where I was living in Germany, because I'd always used to be, my ex would like meet me at the airport and we'd travel back together. So it was exciting that one time when, because she was like ill, and it was like, oh, I get to get wait for my bus from the airport on my own, and then we get to the halfway point. I can go to the shop and get a pretzel with cheese and ham, and I can just stand there. I don't know. It's these sort of like usually monotonous, dreary, boring things. It was exciting for me. It was weird. It was just you know I'm getting a bus in Germany. Tiny little things like that would just interest me.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play.
Well, it's like that when I travel anywhere.
It's just
Even
nice
if,
to get about, isn't it? See different
yeah,
places.
definitely.
You know, there's so much to see. And in the grand scheme of things, so little time to do it in, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I think all the places that I'd like to travel, I'd probably never do it in a lifetime, if I'm completely honest.
God,
Unless,
no.
unless I won the lottery, but
Yeah.
Michael says, just cracking open a Sputnik from North Brewing Co. I've had that for ages, Sputnik.
Same here. I remember that being a very solid beer indeed.
Is that all in 4 packs now?
I
440
think so,
4 packs? Yeah.
You may still be able to get single cans in Marks and Spencer's, if I remember, because I think, well, our local Marks and Spencer's stocked a fair bit of North.
Okay.
I still think Lost Cosmonauts is one of the best. Super.
Yeah.
To me, that's a beer you'd happily pay like 6 to 8 quid for.
That was something else. That was when I first got to
Yeah.
try that, and it was bloody. I don't know. For me, it was hard to get hold of.
Yeah, it took me a good while. Then all of
Yeah,
a sudden, it was
it's
everywhere.
everywhere now.
Yeah,
Every bloody Tesco stocks Lost Cosmonauts
yeah.
now. It's weird. Yeah, before you couldn't get it for love nor money. It was
No,
like a select few, and that was it. I think I managed to get my can from Stafford once when I was visiting family. I went into the Tesco there, and he had loads of Lost Cosmonauts. And I think I ended up getting Craig one as well because I know he said he couldn't get it or sent him one. But it was quite hard to get hold of. But a fantastic beer. One that stands out even to this day still, I
yeah.
think.
Even compared to some of the sort of like standalone releases from North,
North are solid anyway, though, aren't they?
they're solid brew. But I've had beers where I'm like, yeah, it's all right, but I can get Lost Cosmonauts from a supermarket for like maybe 2 quid cheaper, and get.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just
Still delivers.
yeah, definitely. I think North are a fantastic brewery.
Easy for Peter now to get Augustina local free delivery at £2.45 a bottle. They also have sell Doppelbox. Nudge, nudge.
Where's that from, Adam?
Then Ian 6% Dino for that beer that he was on. Adam Love Prague been twice recommended the beer spa. It's a fantastic place, isn't it, Prague?
I've still
Lovely,
yet
lovely.
to go. That's one of those places where I want a cheeky weekend.
It's so cheap as well over there.
Yeah.
And all the buildings as well, because it didn't get battered in the war. So most of the old buildings are still intact. So it's beautiful, beautiful scenery. And the people are really nice and friendly as well. Kale Regatta in Germany, loads of beer tents, amazing. Kale Regatta.
Kale Regatta. I'm unfamiliar with that. I'm not going to lie.
And then Wayne's Beer Delivery says, are they starting to open up in England and Europe? It's all kicking off next week, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Because, well, Bojo did that like sort of announcement early today that in the next few days he's going to be able to get a haircut, but more importantly, he's going to get a pint of beer. I actually didn't think the pubs were reopening on Monday. I thought it was just the rule of 6 thing coming in.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he was like saying in the next week, because he was making a joke about his hair, but he said more importantly, I'm gonna very cautiously have a pint of beer at my pub. So I don't know if he's like sort of like talking about what's happening in like a week or so's time. I just thought it was the rule of 6 in a garden thing coming through on Monday.
I mean, to be fair though, I've probably started to ignore the news a little bit because it was all the same crap all the time. And as much as it's, I suppose, quite important to know what's going on and stuff like that, you get a bit pissed off with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Constant, we've had it for a bloody 12 months, haven't we? So it's just echo chamber, isn't it, really?
Yeah, we know what's going on. We don't need a daily reminder of where we are.
England, yes, very slowly. Europe is getting worse currently. Oh yeah, because they've got that new strain, haven't they? That's morphed.
Yeah, and see that's probably the one concern I have with what's going on in Europe could potentially influence decisions made in the next couple of weeks, and it would be a real shame if we've been promised this like irreversible final lockdown for them to just turn around and go, sorry guys, we've got to go back. But he keeps going on about how this is going to be the last sort of but
we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, definitely.
Adam sent you the link for the 3rd time. April the 12th, he means.
April the 12th. Well, it's not too far away, is it?
No. And I think we've caught up again on comments. So I might actually knock it on the head now because we're coming up to 3 hours and 43 minutes. It's pretty good, actually, considering we were just going to do 3 bloody beers. But it's been good. It's been good fun. Slurpee ends on Skellington goes into the pub and asks for a pint of bitter and a mop, please.
Fair dues. I think that's a fitting way to end the live stream there.
Ciao, Thomas as well. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, mate, and leaving comments.
Cheers, Thomas, and I very much look forward to being on your channel.
Been an absolute pleasure, Peter.
It certainly has been. And I'm very glad we got this sorted.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody out there that's left comments and carried on for us for this 3 hours and 43 minutes. Patience of a saint to all of you.
Exactly.
It's been fantastic. Go and check him out as well. Go and check him out because he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Until next time, I'm sure we'll
we'll have to make this a bit more of a frequent thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take it easy, everyone. Have a good weekend.